Chapter 15-17. You're courting death. Qin Feng was furious. With a raise of his hand, a golden long saber slashed down. The golden phoenix immediately pulled out hundreds of meters of saber energy in the air, like a giant golden dragon whistling over. The light smile on Hun Jun's face disappeared, and a strange light flashed in his eyes. He quickly slashed horizontally above his head. Boom! The two saber energies collided in the air, and a huge explosion sounded like muffled thunder, shaking the valley. Even though Lin Bei and the other two were standing hundreds of meters away, they still felt a strong pressure, forcing them to take dozens of steps back. Oomph! I didn't expect you to have some strength, but you're still like an ant in front of me. Hun Jun quickly recovered his disdainful expression. He leaped lightly and casually swung his saber. It looked like a simple slash, but in an instant, a dense saber cloud condensed. Qin Feng didn't even have time to react before he was sent flying by the airwave. Boom! As soon as Qin Feng landed, Hun Jun followed like a shadow. There were two huge pits in the ground. One was from Qin Feng's landing, and the other was from the crack under Hun Jun's feet. Truly a piece of trash that can't even withstand a single blow. Someone like you dares to pour horse down on my cousin? Go to hell. Hun Jun waved his saber again, and the wind and clouds seemed to change as he raised his hand. A row of saber energy shrouded over like clouds and mist. How could Qin Feng dodge this saber? But just as the saber cloud was about to fall, a wild roar came. The White Fox King leaped and blocked above Qin Feng's head. Rumble. The saber energy landed on the White Fox King's body, and a bloody wound appeared on its snow-white hard fur. The White Fox King roared at the sky in pain, but immediately flew towards Hun Jun. Whoosh! As the White Fox King waved its claws, the air exploded. Its appearance was so sudden that even Hun Jun was taken aback. However, Hun Jun's reaction speed was very fast. Seeing that the White Fox King's sharp claws were about to hit his head, Hun Jun turned his saber and slashed horizontally. Clang! The collision was like the loud sound of two speeding trains colliding. The violent aura shook the surroundings, and the White Fox King's huge body flew out like a kite with a broken string. Hun Jun only somersaulted in the air and landed steadily on the ground. This series of fights happened in the span of a few breaths. Qin Feng's heart sank. The White Fox King's power was comparable to that of a Stage 5 Immortal Qi Realm Cultivator, but it was completely unable to withstand the chaotic quake technique. Good lad, you actually managed to tame this kind of spirit beast. What other trump cards do you have? Just use them all. Once I destroy you, all of them will be mine. Not only did Hun Jun not care about the appearance of the White Fox King, but he also looked excited. Qin Feng had already realized his strength, so he might as well take out all his trump cards and fight to the death with Hun Jun. Rumble. For a time, loud noises rang out in the air. Ogre cannons Huang Zhong and Asura descended from the sky. Hun Jun was dumbfounded. Where did these people and beasts come from? Rumble. Huang Zhong was an impatient person. As soon as he landed, he fired a cannon. Hun Jun's expression changed slightly, but he stood his ground without dodging. Seeing that the flames were about to engulf him, Hun Jun raised his saber and slashed forward. A row of saber clouds surged over and engulfed the power of the cannons. The saber landed on Huang Zhong's body and sent him flying to the ground. Asura roared as it followed. With every step it took, the ground shook violently. Where did this giant beast come from? Why haven't I seen it on the divine mainland? Hun Jun looked at Asura with a blank expression. This guy's appearance was strange, and he felt that it was not a local creature. While Hun Jun was lost in thought, Asura had already arrived in front of him. Its huge tail swept out like a sea-stabilizing divine needle. Wind howled in the air, and a gust of wind blew on the originally calm mountaintop. However, Hun Jun did not move. Instead, he suddenly reached out and grabbed Asura's tail, throwing it away. Rumble. When Asura landed, it was as if a meteorite had fallen from the sky. In just a few minutes, Hun Jun had defeated all three of Qin Feng's trump cards. He leaped and appeared in front of Qin Fun again. The playful expression on his face became more intense. You have a lot of treasures, but your strength is too weak. If you have any other powerful weapons, bring them out. Otherwise, you won't have a chance. Qin Fun wanted to, but he did not have the strength. At this time, Little Pig's voice sounded in his mind. Master, use the destroyer hunting pincer to bite that guy to death. Qin Fun was stunned. Are you kidding? The hunting pincer is so small. How can it eat a level 6 immortal? Little Pig's face was serious. Master, you underestimated the hunting pincer's ability to swallow. It can swallow anything in the world, dead or alive. It can swallow anything it wants. Qin Fun could not imagine how the hunting pincer could swallow Han Zhen, but he knew that Little Pig was serious. Qin Fun was about to release the hunting pincer when Little Pig added, "Oh right, Master. The hunting pincer is still in its initial state. Its life force is still very weak. It can't withstand Han Zhen's attack at all. Therefore, Master wants the hunting pincer to sneak attack Han Zhen. It's best if it can jump into Han Zhen's body and swallow the energy in his dantian." With a thought, the hunting pincer was released. However, Qin Fun was a little worried. Han Zhen was a level 6 immortal. It was easier said than done for the hunting pincer to jump into his body. Since you don't have any trump cards, then die. Han Zhen's patience had run out. He suddenly swung his sword. Qin Fun immediately flew out on his golden wheel. When he was in midair, the ground where he had been standing exploded into a ravine. Han Zhen looked up, and his eyes shone. Wow, he even has a flying spiritual weapon. I've hit the jackpot today. Han Zhen did not care about Qin Fun from beginning to end. When he saw Qin Fun take out so many treasures, he already saw them as his own. After dodging Han Zhen's sword, Qin Fun suddenly roared. A holy white light descended from the sky. The instant Qin Fun drew the heavenly eagle bow, the cloud-piercing arrow fell like a meteor. Rumble. The cloud-piercing arrow was extremely fast, but Han Zhen narrowly dodged it. He looked at the crack that pierced deep into the earth's core. His expression became serious for the first time. Qin, I'm going to cut you into 1,000 pieces. Mixed essence, 7 blades. First form, toppling mountains and overturning seas. That arrow had almost injured Han Zhen, and he was completely enraged. Han Zhen roared and leaped into the air. For the first time, he waved the large saber in his hand. The sky was suddenly covered with dark clouds. However, it was not a real cloud, but a surging saber cloud condensed under Han Zhen's saber. The saber chi filled the sky and fell. Qin Fun flew all the way on the golden wheel, and the ground behind him exploded one after another. It was like shooting a sci-fi blockbuster. Rumble. The explosion seemed to be unstoppable. In the end, Qin Fun could not dodge in time and was blown to the ground. Huang Zhong, Asla, and the White Fox King hurriedly rushed over. The three of them attacked at the same time and temporarily stopped Han Zhen. Qin Fun saw the opportunity at this moment. He urged his mind to communicate with the hunting turtle. A light flashed, and the hunting turtle that had been hiding under Han Zhen's feet leaped out. Its speed was so fast that even Qin Fun could not catch it. Quang, quang, quang. A strange sound suddenly sounded in Qin Fun's mind, but he was very familiar with this sound. It was the strange sound of the hunting turtle eating. The next moment, Han Zhen, who was in the midst of a fierce battle, suddenly froze. His expression changed drastically. He covered his abdomen with both hands, and beads of sweat appeared on his forehead. What the hell ran into my body? Get the hell out. Han Zhen realized that the situation was not right. He circulated his aura to force the hunting turtle out. Little Pig hurriedly shouted, "Master, quickly attack Han Zhen. Don't let him force the hunting turtle out." Qin Fun forced his injured body to stand up, and with a roar, he drew his bow and shot an arrow. Huang Zhong and the other two also realized the urgency of the situation and used all their skills to attack Han Zhen. For a moment, there was a loud noise. The attacks of the four were so fierce that even Han Zhen did not dare to ignore them. However, Han Zhen wanted to force the hunting turtle out of his body and fight Qin Fun and the other three at the same time. He was too busy. Quang, quang, quang. The sound of the hunting turtle eating became more and more hurried, accompanied by Hun Jun's painful screams. At this time, Hun Jun could no longer fight. He hugged his stomach and rolled back and forth on the ground. The fierce attacks of the four all landed on his body, and the flat ground was full of holes from the explosions. It was unknown what the hunting turtle was eating in Hun Jun's body, but its eating speed was getting faster and faster. Just listening to the sound made Qin Fen feel horrified. Rumble. Not long after, a loud sound came from Hun Jun's body. His body exploded on its own, and the surging and violent immortal qi scattered. A shadow shot out from the explosion and landed on Qin Fen's shoulder in the blink of an eye. The hunting turtle wasn't injured. It bared its teeth and smiled foolishly at Qin Fen. Master, the hunting turtle said, it ate Hun Jun's dantian clean. That guy's already dead, Little Pig said. Qin Fen's eyes were filled with shock. Hun Jun was a stage 6 immortal qi expert. How strong was his dantian? The hunting turtle could even eat something like a dantian? It was simply too abnormal. After this battle, Qin Fen also deeply understood the hunting turtle's devouring ability. This little guy was worthy of being a level 9 star beast. When he grew to adulthood, would he want to devour the entire planet? A stage 6 immortal qi expert was killed by above the size of an earthworm. Qin Fen was momentarily unable to accept this reality. When the battle ended, Lin Bei and the other two rushed over anxiously. When they saw the remnants of blood at the corner of Qin Fen's mouth, their hearts ached so much that their eyes became moist. It's all right. Hun Jun is already dead. We're safe for now. Qin Fen comforted the three women for a while. When they calmed down, Qin Fen walked to the area where Hun Jun exploded and found 2 storage bags. This kind of storage bag was very common in the Divine Supreme Continent. Even odd-job disciples like Zhou Tian had one. Storage bags could store many things, but they were too inferior compared to the Emerald Spirit Ring and Star Ring on Qin Fen's hands. As a stage 6 immortal qi expert, Hun Jun's 2 storage bags contained many treasures. There were hundreds of high-grade spirit stones and many pills that could help with breakthroughs. There were spirit tools and some martial techniques, but Qin Fen didn't care about them at all. Friends that want to read books, you can search for Blue Book Bar, and you'll find this site immediately. Chapter 15:18. After Hun Jun was destroyed, Qin Fen did not bring the 3 women back to Han Yuan's sect. Now that he was on the Divine Continent, Qin Fen's priority was to speed up his breakthrough. If he returned to the sect, he would encounter a lot of trouble, so it was better to stay on the Celestial Fox Mountain and cultivate in peace. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. During this period of time, Qin Fen and the other 3 stayed at the Celestial Fox Mountain to cultivate day and night. In Hun Jun's storage bag, there were a few supplementary elixirs that could help one break through to stage 5 and stage 6 immortal qi. Qin Fen used these elixirs to break through quickly. In a short month, he had already stepped into stage 7 immortal qi. Lin Bei and the other 2 girls also grew very quickly. Among them, Hua Xiaojin's cultivation level was the highest. She had already stepped into the 3rd layer of immortal energy. Lin Bei and Han Ying were both at the peak of Immortal Qi Stage 2, and were on the verge of breaking through to Immortal Qi Stage 3. It had been a month and a half since the formation in the secular world of Huaxia, and the Divine Land had weakened. Qin Fen had leaped from a level 2 immortal to a level 7 immortal. Although this realm was nothing in the Divine Continent, at least Qin Fen had the ability to protect himself in the Northern Sand Continent and wouldn't be easily trampled upon. It's been a month. I wonder how Ruoro and Lingxian are. The 3 women stood at the peak of the Sky Fox Mountain and looked in the direction of the Han Yuan sect. They missed their 2 good sisters. Seeing that it was about time, Qin Fen brought the 3 women to the Han Yuan sect. This time, he planned to take Su Ruoro and Zhao Lingxian away. Afterwards, everyone would go to the Spirit Immortal sect and gather their friends and family. The Han Yuan sect remained the same for a month. However, when Qin Fen and the others arrived at the outer sect area, they discovered that the disciples were in a hurry, as if they were busy with something important. Big Brother Qin, Is it really you? You're still alive? A cry of surprise rang out. Qin Feng recognized Zhou Tian. However, Zhou Tian's face and arms were covered in bloody scars, as if he had been beaten. Brother Zhou, what happened to your injuries? Qin Feng raised his eyebrows. Zhou Tian gradually came back to his senses, but the shock in his eyes did not fade. A month ago, everyone knew that Huanjin had come out of seclusion to seek revenge on Qin Feng, and then Qin Feng had disappeared for a month. Just when everyone thought Qin Feng was dead, he suddenly appeared. Before Zhou Tian could speak, another dozen or so disciples had already surrounded Zhang Xian. The moment everyone saw Qin Feng, they screamed in fear as if they had seen a ghost. Holy shit, is this person really Qin Feng? Isn't he dead? Could it be that Han Dunjun didn't find them the last time he came out of seclusion? This guy actually dared to bring a woman back? Isn't that courting death? The crowd discussed among themselves, and none of them were optimistic about Qin Feng. When the discussion fell into the ears of the three women, they all looked a little unhappy. However, Qin Feng acted as if he didn't hear anything. After he looked around, he discovered a problem. These odd-job disciples all had red and swollen bloodstains on their bodies, as if they had been violently beaten up. Big Brother Qin, you should leave quickly. If Hun Fei and Hun Jin find out that you're still alive, you'll be in trouble. Zhou Tian pulled Qin Feng to the side and reminded him in a low voice. Qin Feng was a little amused. That Hun Jun had died a month ago. If he could still jump out now, then he would really have seen a ghost. Brother Zhou, where did your injuries come from? Could it be Hun Fei? Qin Feng was concerned about another matter. Zhou Tian's eyes flashed with anger, but it disappeared in a flash. Sigh. Anyway, we're all odd-job disciples, and we're used to being beaten and scolded like animals. As long as no one dies, it's not a big deal. Big Brother Qin, you'd better leave quickly. Qin Feng already understood the situation. Ever since he left with the three women, that Hun Fei had nowhere to vent his anger, so he had been beating up Zhou Tian and the other odd-job disciples to vent his anger. Thinking of this, Qin Feng was very angry. In the end, he had implicated everyone. Crack! At this moment, the sound of a whip exploded, causing everyone to cover their heads and scurry away in fear. Zhou Tian's expression changed drastically. His legs trembled violently, and he felt like he was going to kneel on the ground at any moment. You bunch of bastards, are you lazing around again? Today is the day of the sect tournament. Who allowed you to gather here and chat? The roar was like thunder, and Qin Feng found it somewhat familiar. When he looked over, he saw that Hun Fei was indeed standing there. Hun Fei's sudden arrival scared everyone half to death. It was obvious that everyone had been tortured by him for the past month. Zhou Tian trembled as he whispered in Qin Feng's ear, trying to persuade him to leave quickly. However, not only did Qin Feng not escape, he even strode towards Hun Fei. Which stray dog is barking here so early in the morning? I was the one who asked them to gather here and chat. You're not convinced? Compared to Hun Fei's angry roar, Qin Feng's voice was calm, but it was even more shocking. The people who were about to escape stopped abruptly and looked at Qin Feng in disbelief. They even suspected that they were dreaming. Hun Fei was stunned and looked at Qin Feng in disbelief. He didn't expect that there would be someone among these odd-job disciples who dared to shout at him. However, when his gaze landed on Qin Feng, he jumped in fright. You're Qin Feng? Aren't you dead? Seeing Hun Fei, the three girls were filled with anger. Now that Hua Xiaojin had broken through to stage 3 Immortal Qi Realm, she looked like she was itching to teach Hun Fei a lesson. Qin Feng stood in front of the three girls and looked at him indifferently. Who said I'm dead? I also said you're dead. Hun Fei finally came back to his senses. He realized that Qin Feng really wasn't dead. However, he couldn't understand what was going on no matter how hard he thought about it. Back then, Hun Jin's cousin had personally come out. How could he let a mere Qin Feng escape? You're lucky that Hun Jin's cousin didn't find you. Hun Fei quickly had his own guess. However, you still dare to come back. This time, no one can save you. Hun Fei was still living in his own fantasy world. Qin Feng and the three girls looked at him sympathetically. Qin Feng didn't say much about him killing Hun Jun. After all, Hun Jun was a core disciple of Hun Yuan's sect. If the elders of Hun Yuan's sect found out about this, they might get into trouble again. Hun Fei was holding a horse whip in his hand. The end of the whip was stained with a yellowish-black substance that emitted a foul smell. The end of the whip was stained with horse dung. For the past month, Hun Fei had used this whip to beat everyone every day to vent the humiliation of being splashed with horse dung by Qin Feng. Qin, my cousin Hun Jun, is one of the core disciples of the sect. He has long reached stage 6 immortal Qi realm. You dared to disrespect me in the past. Today, I will give you a way out. Obediently take off your clothes and let me whip you. Otherwise, when my cousin comes, he will kill you with one slap. Hun Fei was worried that he wouldn't have a chance to take revenge on Qin Feng. He didn't expect that Qin Feng would deliver himself to his doorstep. Everyone looked at him sympathetically. Zhou Tian was so anxious that his palms were sweating. However, Qin Feng flashed by. When he reappeared in front of everyone, he was still standing in the same place, but there was a horsewhip in his hand. It was the one in Hun Fei's hand. You dare to steal my... Hun Fei screamed in anger, but he was interrupted by the dull sound of the whip before he could finish. Pa! Qin Feng casually raised his horsewhip. The tail of the whip, which was stained with horse dung, hit Hun Fei's lips, leaving a black and yellow mark. Hun Fei screamed in pain, but just as he opened his mouth, he immediately closed it. The pile of horse dung fell into his mouth, making him want to vomit. Cries of surprise could be heard from the crowd. Everyone was dumbfounded by Qin Feng's whip. What Qin Feng was doing was something that everyone dreamed of doing, but none of them had the guts to do what Qin Feng did. A odd job disciple actually beat the big brother figure of the outer sect disciples. This matter was like an international joke. Pa! The sound of the whip exploded again. Qin Feng's seemingly light and nimble whip left overlapping shadows in the air, as if hundreds of green threads were descending. Hun Fei's black robe was torn, and his skin was covered with blood. The horse dung on the tail of the whip was stained with blood, which made people feel disgusted. Pa! 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 Qin Feng couldn't stop once he started, and Hun Fei was rolling on the ground. More and more people were watching, but they were all odd job disciples and outer sect disciples. When everyone recognized that the person who was being whipped was Hun Fei, their eyes and jaws fell to the ground. However, after a long time, no one stood up to stop Qin Feng. It was not that everyone was afraid of Qin Feng's skills, but that they were usually bullied by Hun Fei, and now they were all cheering in their hearts. Qin Feng didn't stop until he whipped for more than 10 minutes. At this time, Hun Fei was covered in blood and horse dung. He was lying on the ground, and it was hard to tell what he was. The crowd dispersed, and they were all a little afraid of Qin Feng. This person was obviously just an odd job disciple, but what he did was earth-shattering. Big Brother Qin, why you're still so fierce? You're looking for trouble for yourself. Seeing Hun Fei get beaten up, Zhou Tian felt very good. However, after the good feeling, he started to worry about Qin Feng. Don't worry about me, Brother Zhou. Hun Fei is like an ant in my eyes. As for Hun Jun, there's no need to mention him. He won't show up, Qin Feng said. Zhou Tian didn't know that Hun Jun was killed, and he thought Qin Feng was a little arrogant. Hun Fei was only at stage 4 immortal Qi, while Hun Jun was an expert at stage 6 immortal Qi. Even if Qin Feng could beat Hun Fei, how could he beat Hun Jun? Seeing that Zhou Tian was about to persuade him again, Qin Feng said, "That's right, Hun Fei mentioned the sect tournament just now." Yes. Today is the Hun Yuan sect's disciple tournament, so everyone is busy building the arena, Zhou Tian said truthfully. When Qin Feng arrived at the sect, he saw that everyone was in a hurry. It turned out that they were preparing for the sect tournament. However, Qin Feng wasn't interested in the Hun Yuan sect's tournament. This time, he came back to take Zhao Lingxian and Su Ruo away. Brother Zhou, I'm leaving today. I don't know if I'll see you again. If Brother Zhou isn't happy in the Hun Yuan sect, you can go to the Celestial Soul sect and tell them my name. Qin Feng felt that Zhou Tian was a good person, so he pointed out a way for him. However, Zhou Tian foolishly repeated the celestial soul sect's name. He still couldn't figure out when such a sect appeared in the North Sand continent. Okay, big brother Qin, hurry up and leave with the three sisters-in-law. If Hunjun gets here, it'll be troublesome. Zhou Tian didn't care about the celestial soul sect at all. He was still worried about Qin Feng and the others. Friends that want to read books, you can search Blue Book Bar to find this site immediately. Chapter 1519. Qin Feng bid farewell to Zhou Tian. He knew that Zhou Tian wouldn't believe him no matter how much he explained. If he told him that Huinjin had been killed, Zhou Tian would probably be scared to death. The four of them walked towards the inner area of the Hunyuan sect. As soon as they reached the entrance, they were stopped by the guards. Why do you four look so unfamiliar? This is the inner area of the sect. Unauthorized personnel are not allowed in. Entering the inner area required one to show their identity token. However, these guards had been here for many years and knew almost all the inner and core disciples of the sect. Normally, these disciples didn't need to show their identity token. However, the guards stopped Qin Feng when they saw that he was unfamiliar. Lin Bei and the other two girls immediately became nervous. They were afraid that they would be in trouble if their identities were exposed. However, a turbulent aura suddenly exploded from Qin Feng's body. The pressure almost made them faint. Are you blind? We are the core disciples of the Hunyuan sect. We usually cultivate in seclusion. Of course you lowly people haven't seen us before. Qin Feng reprimanded them, as if they were the core disciples of the sect. The dozen or so guards were dumbfounded. Qin Feng's aura burst revealed the full power of a Stage 7 immortal. There weren't many people in the Hunyuan sect who could reach Stage 7 at such a young age. Senior, please don't blame us. We were wrong. Seniors, please come in. The group of disciples immediately changed their attitudes. The others lowered their heads and didn't even have the courage to look at Qin Feng. The leader of the guard's voice was trembling when he spoke. Qin Feng swaggered into the inner area. Lin Bei and the other two girls foolishly followed behind him. The environment of the inner area was very different from the outer area. The buildings were grand and luxurious. The density of the spiritual energy in the surroundings was also several levels higher. However, although the inner area was big, the number of disciples was much smaller than the outer area. There were a few people scattered along the way. Qin Feng randomly asked one of them where Su Ruoro and Zhao Lingxian lived. The inner area was divided according to the names of the elders. Su Ruoro and Zhao Lingxian were the disciples of the Hunyuan sect's proud elders, so they were assigned to the Azure Moon Palace's area. When Qin Feng and the others arrived at the Azure Moon Palace's area, the first thing they felt was the density of the spiritual energy in the surroundings. No wonder people from the Divine Supreme Continent wanted to join a sect and become a core disciple of the sect. The higher one's status was, the more cultivation resources they could obtain. This was equivalent to winning at the starting line. Look, Spirit Immortal Ruoro is cultivating over there. Lin Bei suddenly jumped up in excitement. Everyone looked toward a small garden not far away. Su Ruoro and Lin Bei were dressed in white and were dancing gracefully like fairies. The four of them hurriedly walked over. Without saying anything, Qin Feng pulled the two women into his arms. After not seeing each other for more than a month, Qin Feng missed her dearly. You, hurry up and let go of Spirit Immortal Ruoro. Otherwise, I'll cut you in half. A furious roar sounded beside his ear, and a black-robed young man stood at the side. There were two people behind the man, both of whom were glaring at Qin Feng furiously. Su Ruoro and Zhao Lingxian were still in a daze. They looked at Qin Feng, who was so close to them, and felt as if they were dreaming. Qin Feng didn't let go of the two women. He looked at the man who spoke with an indifferent expression. I'm hugging my own wife. Why do you care? Who do you think you are? Qin Feng's words caused the three of them to be dumbfounded. Ever since Zhao Lingxian and Su Ruoro had entered the inner court of the Hunyuan sect, they had become the dream lovers of many male disciples. Who knew how many disciples had tried to woo the two women over the past month? Who would have thought that the two women were already married? Brat, Don't you dare insult Ruo Ro and Ling Xian's reputation. Why don't you take a piss and look at yourself? How are you worthy of them? After the man came back to his senses, he didn't believe Qin Feng's words. Zhao Ling Xian and Su Ruo Ro finally came back to their senses and realized that Qin Feng had really come to find them. The two women tightly held Qin Feng's arms in front of the man as they spoke coldly. Hun Qinkuan, this is indeed our husband. Don't waste time. We've followed Qin Feng for a long time, and we're already his. Hun Qinkuan was one of the two women's pursuers. Moreover, he had been very aggressive recently, causing the two women to feel disgusted. Seeing that the two women had admitted it themselves, Hun Qinkuan had a look of disbelief on his face. He looked at Qin Feng again. He was completely unfamiliar with Qin Feng's appearance. Evidently, he wasn't a disciple of the inner court. Stinking brat, where did you come from? You even dare to steal our big brother Qinkuan's junior sister? I think you don't want to stay in the Hunyuan sect anymore. If you know what's good for you, you'll immediately scram. The two lackeys standing behind Hun Qinkuan jumped out. Their arrogant expressions showed that they didn't care about Qin Feng at all. Qin Feng didn't know who these three people were, but he didn't want to know. He raised his hand and slapped the two lackeys. Pa! Pa! The slaps were clean and crisp, and the sound were crisp and pleasing to the ear. The two lackeys were completely dumbfounded. They covered their red and swollen faces and stared at Qin Feng in disbelief. Why you dare to hit me? I think you're tired of living. Today, your elder will teach you how to be a person. The two disciples angrily swung their fists at Qin Feng. When they circulated their qi, Qin Feng could tell that they were only at stage 4 immortal qi. Before the two's fists could reach him, Qin Feng casually slapped out with his palms. A massive sound rang out, and the two of them fell tens of meters away like kites with their strings cut. There weren't many disciples in the inner court, so the fight didn't attract many onlookers. After the two lackeys fell to the ground, they continuously cried out in pain. Hun Qinkuan's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. Just as he was about to teach Qin Feng a lesson, he suddenly stopped. Oomph, you're lucky, brat. The sect competition is about to begin, so don't let me see you on the stage. Otherwise, I'll make you kneel and beg for mercy. Hun Qinkuan threw down these harsh words and left by himself. The two lackeys forced themselves to follow him. After the three of them left, Qin Feng and the others reunited for a moment of warmth. Qin Feng, let's go now. The sect competition is about to begin, and everyone's going to watch. It'll be a good time for us to escape. After a moment of warmth, Su Ruo Ro got down to business. Zhao Ling Xian frowned and added, we can't stay in the Hunyuan sect anymore. Otherwise, that Hun Qinkuan will definitely make trouble for you. Qin Feng said nonchalantly, what's Hun Qinkuan's identity? I heard you guys say that he's very powerful. Zhao Ling Xian said, he's a core disciple of the Hunyuan sect, and he's ranked first on the dragon rankings. Qin Feng didn't know much about the Hunyuan sect situation. Seeing him raise his eyebrows, Su Ruo Ro explained, the Hunyuan sect created a dragon rankings and a phoenix rankings. Both rankings are for the sect's disciples. The dragon rankings are for the male disciples, while the phoenix rankings are for the female disciples. Hun Qinkuan is ranked first on the dragon rankings, so he's the most powerful disciple in the Hunyuan sect. Qin Feng didn't expect to meet the most powerful disciple as soon as he arrived in the inner court. This made him confused. Since that guy is so powerful, why did he suddenly run away? Chapter 15:20. After learning that Qin Feng wanted to participate in the sect competition, Zhou Tian began to persuade him. He even suspected that Qin Feng had gone crazy. Qin Feng did not explain further. As time passed, more and more disciples gathered around the training grounds. At a glance, there were at least 500 or 600 people. Another group of people walked over, causing the crowd to be excited. The sect competition is about to begin. Those experts on the dragon ranking have all appeared. If I'm not mistaken, that black-robed, long-haired man is Hun Dan, who was ranked 4th on the dragon ranking last time, right? I know that bald man. He's Hun Qinyun, who was ranked 3rd on the dragon ranking. Damn, Hun Dalong is here too. He's ranked second on the dragon ranking. Eh? Why don't I see Hunjun? I think he disappeared for more than a month. The arrival of this small group of people caused a heated discussion among the disciples. Qin Feng had a general understanding of the situation of the Hun Yuan sect's disciples on the dragon ranking. He did not expect that Hun Jun, who was killed by him, was ranked 5th on the dragon ranking. It seemed that the strength of the Hun Yuan sect's disciples was not that exaggerated. Not long after Hun Qinyun and the other two arrived, another group of disciples came. They were the disciples ranked 6th to 10th on the dragon ranking, which caused a commotion among the crowd. The 8 disciples stood at the side with arrogant expressions. They looked like they were experts, but in their hearts, they were very happy with everyone's praises. Look, Hun Shinkuin is here. Another exclamation came from the crowd. All the disciples looked in the same direction. Hun Shinkuin, who was wearing a black robe, walked over with a calm expression. The crowd immediately made way for him as he passed by. All sorts of screams and discussions rose and fell. However, Hun Shinkuin remained calm and did not even look at the crowd. Hun Qinyun and the others were forgotten because of Hun Shinkuin's appearance. Seeing that Hun Shinkuin had stolen the limelight, the 8 people's faces turned cold. However, none of them dared to stand out and find trouble with Hun Shinkuin. Now, except for Hun Jun, the top 10 disciples on the dragon ranking had gathered at the training field. The rest of the disciples were in an uproar. The competition had not started yet, but everyone was already talking about who would be the champion of the dragon ranking. Qin Feng, why don't we leave first? Seeing the powerful disciples appear one after another, Su Ruo and the others started to worry. Among the crowd, Hun Shinkuin was the one with the most support. As for the other 3 in the top 5 of the dragon ranking, they also had support. No one in the audience could hear the shouts for the outer sanctum disciples. As for the odd job disciples, no one could think of it. Qin Feng understood what the women were thinking, but he stood with an indifferent expression in the crowd and did not explain too much. After a while, a few older men and women walked over unhurriedly from afar. The appearance of these people caused the originally excited disciples to immediately calm down. Elder Hun Tianjiao and the other elders have all arrived. I'm afraid the competition is about to begin. Su Ruoro and Zhao Lingxian looked anxious. They realized that they couldn't leave even if they wanted to. There were a total of 4 elders, 3 men and 1 woman. Qin Fen only knew Hun Tianjiao. It was his first time seeing the other 3 elders. The 4 of them walked onto the gigantic stage. They were like 4 towering mountains that people could not see through. Even Qin Feng felt a sense of pressure when he looked directly at the 4 of them. Today is the Hun Yuan sect's annual sect competition. The purpose of the competition is to encourage everyone to cultivate hard and improve together. The 4 elders each gave an opening speech on the stage. The hundreds of disciples below the stage listened attentively and did not dare to make a sound. Qin Feng could not see through the 4 elders' realms, but he knew that he would not be able to withstand a single attack from them. However, Qin Feng looked around a few times and did not see the Hun Yuan sect leader. After the 4 elders on the stage finished speaking, the last male elder stood up. Su Ruo immediately introduced him to Qin Feng. This is Elder Hun Yuan Hai. Hun Shinkuin is the disciple he's most proud of. Because Hun Shinkuin took first place on the dragon ranking last year, Hun Yuan Hai's position among the 4 elders became the most prominent. Qin Feng nodded. At that moment, Hun Yuan Hai said, I hereby announce that this year's sect competition has officially begun. The rules of the competition are the same as the previous years. The participating disciples are not limited to their identities. If any accidents happen during the competition, the participating disciples and the Hun Yuan sect organizer will not be responsible. As Hun Yuan Hai's voice fell, the disciples who had been quiet for a long time became excited again. Qin Feng saw many people walking to a place at the side, so he asked Zhou Tian, Brother Zhou, is that the place to register for the competition? Zhou Tian and the 5 ladies realized what Qin Feng was going to do, so they looked solemn. Zhou Tian answered honestly, yes, you can register there and participate in the sect competition. Qin Feng went to register without saying anything. The few of them could only watch with worry. The registration ended very soon. Although there were over 500 disciples gathered at the training field, less than 50 of them dared to register for the competition. Hun Yuan Hai walked onto the stage again with a bamboo tube in his hand. The registration is done. There are a total of 48 participating disciples in this year's sect competition. Now, the participating disciples, please come onto the stage and draw lots to determine your opponents. As soon as he said that, over 40 people jumped out of the crowd. Everyone walked onto the stage, and each drew a bamboo stick. The bamboo sticks were marked with numbers. The people who got the same number would fight in the stage. At that moment, all the participating disciples were standing on the stage. The crowd below began to get excited. They were discussing the disciples who were likely to win the competition and enter the top 10 of the Dragon leaderboard. Who is that guy? You don't look familiar. Suddenly, someone raised a question. Many disciples looked at the man that the person was talking about, and their eyes landed on Qin Feng. He really looks unfamiliar. I'm sure he's not a core disciple. I'm also sure he's not an inner sect disciple. Fuck, could that kid be an outer sect disciple? This guy is really bold. He's just an outer sect disciple, and he dares to participate. He's just here to be cannon fodder. Many people's discussion shifted from the core disciples to Qin Feng. However, at that moment, someone said, he's not an outer sect disciple either. I've been an outer sect disciple for 5 years, and I've never seen that guy. Then the crowd began to feel depressed. Where did this kid come from? Could he be a disciple from another sect who came to stir up trouble? Isn't he one of us, a servant disciple? I think his name is Qin Feng. Suddenly, an exclamation came from the crowd. This sentence shocked everyone. Fuck, a servant disciple? Are you kidding me? It's been more than 10 years since a servant disciple dared to participate in the Hun Yuan sect's competition. This guy is putting his life on the line. After knowing Qin Feng's identity, the entire crowd was in an uproar. The topic of the top 10 disciples on the Dragon leaderboard instantly shifted to Qin Feng. The crowd's voice was neither loud nor soft, but it was clearly heard by the participating disciples on the stage. When they found out that there was a servant disciple among them, their faces were full of disdain and playfulness. The 4 elders were shocked by the news, but they quickly came back to their senses. He was just a servant disciple. He was just a clown. The drawing of lots is over. Now, from Lot 1 to Lot 5, the martial arts competition will begin. Hun Yuan Hai's voice sounded again, immediately silencing the discussion. This was the largest training field of the Hun Yuan sect. It was spacious, and the huge arena could accommodate dozens of people fighting at the same time. Now, it was not a problem to have 5 battles at once. Qin Feng had drawn the number 1 lot, so he stayed in the arena. There were 9 people standing beside him, and they were all disciples of this competition. There were a total of 10 people, and they were quickly divided into 5 groups. Each group stood in a different corner of the arena, far away from each other, so that they would not affect the others' battles at all. At this moment, some people had already started to report their names. I'm Hun Yuan sect's inner disciple, Hun Gang. Please enlighten me. I'm Hun Yuan sect's inner disciple, Hun Shi. I won't show any mercy when the battle starts. I'm a core disciple, Hun Dan. I don't need to introduce my name. I'm the 4th on the Dragon leaderboard in the previous competition. Hun Yuan sect's servant disciple, Qin Feng. Everyone introduced themselves differently. Some disciples were very low-key and only said their names. There were also arrogant people like Hun Dan who couldn't wait to say their height, weight, and even the time of their sexual intercourse. However, these were not important. When Qin Feng reported his name, the hundreds of disciples below the stage were instantly in an uproar. There was really a servant disciple among them? Damn, that Qin Feng brat is tired of living, right? Haha, servant disciple? This kind of person dares to participate in the sect competition? Is he here to be a joke? It's good to be ambitious, but it's a pity that you can't see your own strength clearly. This Qin Feng guy is dead for sure. The crowd discussed ferociously, and all of them were not optimistic about Qin Feng. Su Ruoro and the other four women clenched their small hands nervously. The battle had not officially started, but they were already covered in cold sweat. Zhou Tian also shook his head and sighed. He had already advised Qin Feng many times, but Qin Feng did not listen. Huh? You're a servant disciple? Are you kidding me? The man standing in front of Qin Feng smiled lightly. He was originally worried that he could not defeat Qin Feng, but now that he heard Qin Feng's identity, he completely calmed down. That's right. I'm a servant disciple. Is there a problem? Qin Feng did not care about his opponent's mockery. The guy had already reported his name, Hun Lei, an outer disciple. Qin Feng also checked Hun Lei's realm, and he was only at the 4th stage of immortal qi. Hey, brat, are you arrogant? In a while, I'll beat you up until you look for your teeth all over the ground. Let's see if you can still be so arrogant, Hun Lei said with a playful expression. Qin Feng ignored him and waited for Hun Lei to announce the start of the battle. Soon, the clear sound of a gong rang out, signifying that this year's grand competition had officially begun. Senior Hundan, please don't fight. I'm willing to withdraw from the competition. As soon as the battle began, a shout came from the stage. The disciple who drew the same number as Hun Lei had a bitter expression. How could he be a match for Hun Lei? He could only withdraw from the competition. Chapter 1521. He's withdrawing just like that? That's too spineless. I heard he's already at stage 5 immortal qi. What a pity, huh? What's there to pity about? What would you do if you went up against Hundan, who's ranked 4th on the dragon leaderboard? The crowd discussed among themselves, then shook their heads and sighed. They felt that Hundan's luck was too bad. Hundan's originally cold and arrogant face was filled with pride. He wished he could fly to the sky. At this time, the other 4 groups of disciples had already started fighting. Qin Feng was the lowest among the 8, but he became the center of attention. The crowd had gathered outside his battle arena, and the sounds of discussion had not stopped since the beginning. Who do you think will win? Fuck. Why are you asking such a retarded question? Why don't you ask everyone how many moves that servant disciple called Qin Feng can take? I bet he'll lose in 1 move. Although Hun Lei is only an outer disciple, he's already at stage for immortal qi. How can a servant disciple compare to him? The sounds of discussion could be heard from the arena. Qin Feng acted as if he didn't hear it. Hun Lei smiled playfully at him and shouted, "Stinking brat, did you hear that? Everyone says you can't beat me. Seeing that we're from the same sect, I'll give you a chance to withdraw and admit defeat. Hurry up." Hun Lei rejoiced that his luck was really good. With his strength, he didn't even think about entering the top 10 of the dragon leaderboard. The reason he participated was just to show his face. He didn't expect his first opponent to be a servant disciple. This allowed him to show off in front of everyone. However, the smile on Hun Lei's face suddenly froze. He heard Qin Feng say, "Fine, I'll also give you a chance to withdraw and admit defeat. Choose for yourself." The noisy crowd quieted down. Hundreds of eyes stared at Qin Feng in disbelief. Everyone didn't know where this brat got his confidence from to say such arrogant words. Or was there something wrong with his brain? After a short daze, Hun Lei laughed wildly. "Huh, do you really think you can scare me? Do you think I'm scared? Watch my fist." Being threatened by a service disciple in front of everyone, Chaotic Thunder flew into a rage and took the initiative to throw a punch at Qin Feng. The air in front of him instantly exploded, and dozens of fist winds whistled through the air. The disciples below the stage were excited, as if they could see the spectacular scene of Qin Feng being sent flying out of the arena. Rumble. The sound of impact rang out as expected, but it was several times louder than what everyone had expected. Following that, his eyeballs and jaws fell to the ground. On the stage, Qin Feng stood with his hands behind his back like a towering mountain, while the chaotic lightning had long since fallen to the ground 100 meters away. The atmosphere suddenly became deathly silent, and it felt like the temperature had dropped below freezing point. From the beginning to the end, no one thought highly of Qin Feng, but the result made everyone's jaws drop. They didn't even see how Qin Feng attacked. All they knew was that after a loud bang, The battle was already over. Where did that kid come from? Even the 4 elders sitting at the side of the arena were alarmed. Chaos Primordial C frowned and said. The other 2 male elders shook their heads. Normally, they wouldn't care about the existence of a janitor disciple. However, Han Tianjiao's expression changed greatly. She realized that the janitor disciple was Su Ruoro and Zhao Ling Xian's husband. A mere janitor disciple, nothing special. Han Qigong quickly regained his senses and lost interest in Qin Feng. The other male elder, Elder Han Bai, also looked away. Chaotic Thunder was only at stage for Immortal Qi. Even if Qin Feng could defeat him in one move, it didn't mean anything. Han Tianjiao didn't say anything from beginning to end, nor did she mention that Qin Feng was the husband of her 2 core disciples. There were still 3 battles going on the stage, but the disciples below the stage were still immersed in the shock of Qin Feng defeating Chaotic Thunder. The 3 battles finally ended. After the first battle, a total of 5 disciples advanced, and Qin Feng was one of them. The sect competition continued. Qin Feng returned to the 5 women and Zhou Tian's side, waiting for the next few battles. At this moment, Zhou Tian's eyes were filled with shock, and he couldn't come back to his senses. Lin Bei and the other 4 women weren't that surprised. They already knew that Chaotic Thunder wasn't Qin Feng's match. However, the following battles were going to be even crueler. This made the 5 women's hearts heavy. Qin Feng, it's still not too late to leave quietly, Su Ruoro said worriedly as she looked at him. Zhao Lingxian also tried to persuade him. I heard that the top 5 disciples on the dragon rankings have all reached stage 7 Immortal Qi. That Han Xingquan at the top might even be at stage 8 Immortal Qi. The meaning behind Zhao Lingxian's words was very clear, giving Lin Bei and the other 2 a fright. Stage 7 and Stage 8 Immortal Qi? How powerful would that be? Young Master Qin, let's hurry and leave. Xiao Zhan doesn't want to see anything happen to young Master Qin. After the women heard about the situation, they were at a loss. Qin Feng didn't expect Han Xingquan to have reached Stage 8 Immortal Qi. As for the other Stage 7 Immortal Qi disciples, he didn't care. They were all at Stage 7 Immortal Qi, so Qin Feng wouldn't lose. However, since he was here, Qin Feng wouldn't run away. Even if Han Xingquan was at Stage 8 Immortal Qi, Qin Feng still had a way to deal with him. The competition went on for a while, and the first round of battles ended. Of the original 48 disciples, only 20 remained. Among them, 4 groups of opponents were of similar strength, and after both sides were heavily injured, they were all eliminated. A new round of lots was drawn. This time, Qin Feng drew number 3. When he walked onto the stage, Hun Dan, who also drew number 3, walked over to his side. Haha, you're really unlucky to have drawn the same lot as your elder. Let's not waste any more time and just announce our withdrawal. Hun Dan didn't even need to fight in the last round, and now he was beside himself with joy. This time, he met the odd job disciple Qin Feng, and he was even more arrogant. The disciples below the stage had already noticed this, and many of them had playful expressions on their faces. I already said that Qin guy was a clown. Now he's hit a nail on the head. I thought that the odd job disciples would surprise us in this year's sect competition, but it seems that I was overthinking. The odd job disciples can't even show their faces. They're just a bunch of servants. Hearing these discussions, Lin Bei and the other girls gritted their teeth in anger. Zhou Tian looked at Qin Feng with a face full of worry, and even prayed that Qin Feng would survive. Although there were 5 battles on the stage, everyone's attention was on Qin Feng. Hun Dan stood with his hands behind his back, his face full of arrogance. He was waiting for Qin Feng to announce his withdrawal, but he heard something unexpected. You're the 4th bastard on the dragon leaderboard? The smugness on Hun Dan's face instantly disappeared, and he shouted with a dark expression, You're the bastard? Your elder is called Hun Dan. Qin Feng said indifferently, I know, it's just a pain in the ass. Hun Dan, the disciples below the stage were already stunned. They realized that Qin Feng really wasn't afraid of death, and even dared to joke about Hun Dan. You ain't like odd job disciple. You really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Today, let Grandpa teach you a good lesson. Rumble. Hundan was furious, and he raised his hand and slammed it down. The loud sound seemed to explode, and a hole appeared where Chin Feng was standing. However, everyone was shocked. Where did Chin Feng run off to? You want to teach me a lesson with this bit of strength? I think you need to train for a few more years. A cold voice sounded, and Chin Feng appeared behind Hundan like a ghost. He casually threw a punch, and it was as if a muffled thunder exploded from his hand. Hundan's expression instantly changed, but before he could dodge, his body flew out like a kite with a broken string. Bang! The sound of his landing was not small, and he smashed a small hole in the plains. Hundan was seriously injured, and he lay in the hole, unable to even stand up. The originally intense fighting stopped, and the other 4 groups of disciples on the stage even forgot to continue fighting. The hundreds of people below the stage were even more dumbfounded, and they all suspected that their eyes were playing tricks on them. The 4 elders stood up at the same time, and their expressions changed unpredictably. It was not strange that Chin Feng had defeated Hun Lei with one move, but now he had defeated Hundan, who was ranked 4th on the dragon leaderboard, with one punch. This instantly shocked everyone. Hundan lost? How is this possible? Hundan is a powerful cultivator who has stepped into the 7th stage of immortal Qi, and that odd job disciple defeated him with one punch. How powerful is that? Is Chin Feng really an odd job disciple? Why don't I believe it? Although the truth had already happened, it was still difficult for everyone to accept. Even Su Ruoro and the other 4 women were dumbfounded. As for Zhou Tian and the other odd job disciples, they were so shocked that they almost fell to the ground. In the corner of the crowd, there were 3 people whose faces were as black as the bottom of a pot. They were Hun Chinquan and his 2 lackeys. The 2 lackeys were dissatisfied when Chin Feng beat them up. Now that they saw how powerful Chin Feng was, they realized that Chin Feng had been lenient. Big brother Chinquan, where did that brat come from? He actually defeated Hundan. This guy is too arrogant. I really want to give him a good beating. The 2 lackeys complained incessantly. Hun Chinquan did not expect Chin Feng to be so powerful, but his eyes quickly flashed with disdain. Hundan is nothing. He's just an ant who has just stepped into the 7th stage of immortal Qi. If it was me, I would also be able to defeat him with one move. As for that Qin guy, he actually dared to steal the woman I like. If I meet him, it will be the day of his death. Hun Chinquan's words instantly calmed the 2 lackeys down. They hid in the dark and secretly peeked at Chin Feng, their eyes filled with schadenfreude. After Chin Feng defeated Hundan, he did not even look at him and swaggered off the stage. The mocking and disdainful voices of Chin Feng quieted down, and when Chin Feng walked through the area, the disciples instinctively opened up a golden path for him, as if they were avoiding a demon. Su Ruoro and the other 4 women were already stunned. Even they did not expect Chin Feng to be so powerful. A group of odd-job disciples surrounded Chin Feng. Their status in the sect was low, even lower than pigs and dogs. However, Chin Feng became famous after this battle, and it could be said that he had helped the Han Yuan sect's odd-job disciples vent their anger. Be big, brother Chin. Why you're so powerful? Zhou Tian's body trembled as he spoke. When he thought about how he had known such a powerful cultivator for over a month, and had even called him brother not long ago, Zhou Tian felt like he was dreaming. Bookmark for easier reading. Chapter 1522. Chin Feng didn't put on airs among the handyman disciples. After all, he had lived in the area of the handyman disciples for a period of time and had seen the hard life of everyone. These people were like the poor people at the bottom of the Huaxia secular world, which made people sympathize with them. After the battle with Hundan, Chin Feng had become a popular figure among the disciples of the Han Yuan sect. No one took him seriously before, but now he could compete for the top 5 on the Dragon Roll. The second round of competition gradually came to an end. There were only 10 disciples left in this round. These 10 people had obviously entered the Dragon Roll, but they still had a rank because the ranking would affect the cultivation resources that each disciple could get Hun Yuan Hai took a bamboo tube and walked to the arena again. Qin Fun and the other 10 people went to the arena to draw lots. This year's great sect competition had reached its most intense moment. Just the process of drawing lots had caused the faces of the hundreds of disciples below the stage to turn red with excitement. "Mr. Qin, please don't draw Hun Qianquan. If he really gets it, we'll have to drag him along with us no matter what." The 5 women were so anxious that their palms were sweating. At this time, they were discussing countermeasures. Hundreds of handyman disciples widened their eyes, trying to see what number Qin Fin had drawn, but they couldn't see it because they were too far away. The drawing ended quickly. Qin Fin glanced at the bamboo stick in his hand and drew number 10. The other 9 people also looked at their bamboo stick numbers and then looked at Qin Fin at the same time. Not long ago, they were eager to be in the same group as Qin Fin, but now, except for Hun Qianquan, the other 8 people were praying that they wouldn't be in the same group as that monster. The 10 people were divided into 5 groups, and they could fight in the big arena at the same time. Just when everyone was about to find an opponent according to the bamboo stick, Hun Qianquan said to Hun Dalong, who was next to him, "You drew the same number as Qin Fin." Hun Dalong was shocked. He wasn't afraid of Qin Fin, but this kind of set competition not only depended on strength, but also luck. If Hun Dalong fought with Qin Fin, even if he won, he would consume most of his strength. He would definitely lose the next battle, and he would not be able to be the first on the dragon roll. But at this time, Hun Qianquan continued, "I'll exchange lots with you. I want to teach Qin Fin a lesson." Hun Dalong, who was ranked second on the dragon ranking in the previous tournament, had fought with Hun Qianquan and lost to him in the end. This year, his biggest rival was Hun Qianquan. Who would have thought that this person would make such a request? "Are you serious?" Hun Dalong looked at Hun Qianquan suspiciously. He felt that there was something fishy going on. Hun Qianquan said disapprovingly, "I have a grudge against that kid. He's powerful in your eyes, but he's just an ant in my eyes. How can you understand my current realm?" How arrogant was Hun Qianquan? He acted like all disciples beneath him were ants. Hun Dalong felt stifled in his heart. But how could he reject such a good deal? "All right, I'll trade with you." The 2 of them secretly swapped the bamboo sticks. Their speed was so fast that none of the disciples below the stage noticed. However, none of the 4 elders who were sitting opposite them stood out to say anything. Qin Fin also saw this scene, but he didn't care. "Now, let's split into groups for the final matches." As soon as Primordial Chaos finished speaking, the crowd burst into an uproar. This was because everyone saw that Qin Fin and Hun Qianquan were standing together. Hun Qianquan sneered and said in a low voice, "Brat, I told you that you're finished. In this Hun Yuan sect, no disciple dares to offend me." Qin Fin looked indifferent, as if he was talking to himself. "You could have lived a little longer, but you insisted on swapping sticks with others. Since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish." Hun Qianquan was stunned. He didn't expect Qin Fin to see the scene of him swapping sticks. However, he quickly came to his senses and said, "The ignorant are fearless. I'll let you know that there's always someone better out there." Before the fight started, the 2 of them had already started a verbal battle. However, they both lowered their voices so no one could hear them. The hundreds of disciples below the stage were already in an uproar. Everyone gathered on Qin Fin and Hun Qianquan's side. As for the other 4 groups, they were completely forgotten. "Big Brother Qin, why don't you admit defeat?" Zhou Tian shouted cautiously. Lin Bei Bei and the other 4 girls frowned. They had the same thought, but they didn't say anything. They knew Qin Fin's personality. Even the handyman disciples weren't optimistic about Qin Fin, let alone the outer sect, inner sect, and core disciples. Although Qin Fin had defeated Hun Dan with one move not long ago, Hun Qianquan could do the same. Hun Qianquan was the #1 disciple of the Hun Yuan sect and seemed to be invincible. "Huh, did you hear that? No one is optimistic about you. You're just a clown." Hun Qianquan was very proud of the discussion below the stage. Qin Fin didn't care. Victory or defeat is determined by strength, not by what others say. The smile on Hun Qianquan's face suddenly froze. He suddenly threw a punch and said, "Brat, then I'll let you see the power of my fist." Boom! There was a loud explosion. Hun Chinquan's punch came so suddenly that the crowd began to scream. A gust of wind suddenly blew, and his punch changed the environment. It was as if they had fallen into a sea with strong winds and huge waves. Qin Fun's white robe fluttered, and his body turned into a white shadow and suddenly disappeared in the wind. In the next moment, the ground where he was standing exploded, and it was as if a meteor had fallen to the ground. Rumble. The explosion lasted for a long time. Hun Chinquan's simple punch completely shocked everyone. The disciples who were in a heated discussion were dumbfounded. They were so scared that they couldn't even speak. Even Hun Dalong and the other 7 who were fighting at the side stopped, and some of them cried out, "Fuck! Hun Chinquan has reached Stage 8 Immortal Energy? It's definitely Stage 8 Immortal Energy. Stage 7 can't cause such great damage. No wonder he's so arrogant. He has actually reached Stage 8 Immortal Energy." After Hun Dalong saw through Hun Chinquan's cultivation, he felt despair. Last year in the sect competition, Hun Chinquan was only Stage 7 Immortal Energy. Hun Dalong thought that he would be able to fight him this year, but who would have thought that he had already broken through to Stage 8? Although it was only a small realm, the difference in strength was like heaven and earth. That's Stage 8 Immortal Energy. He will soon be qualified to be promoted to the sect's Little Elder. Hun Chinquan is only in his 30s this year, right? He might be the youngest Little Elder in our Hun Yuan sect. Looks like Hun Chinquan will be at the top of the dragon leaderboard this year again. The crowd below the stage gradually woke up, and the sound of discussion was like a surging tide. At this moment, the battle between Qin Feng and Hun Chinquan had truly begun. Rumble. After dodging Hun Chinquan's punch, Qin Feng leaped into the air and punched the ground. The sound of thunder and tiger roars rose from the ground, and dozens of sword chi whistled through the air. The power of Qin Feng's punch was also ferocious, forcing Hun Chinquan to retreat. "Brat, you're courting death." Hun Chinquan was furious. After retreating a few steps, he met Qin Feng's punch with a punch. However, Qin Feng didn't retreat. His figure flew down from the sky like a swallow. Rumble. The two fists collided, and a wave of airflow instantly surged. The loud sound was like muffled thunder landing on the ground. The huge aftershock caused the disciples below the stage to retch. Hun Chinquan didn't move, but 2 footprints appeared on the stone ground under his feet. Qin Feng's fists collided with Hun Chinquan's, and he was instantly sent flying, landing on the stone ground more than 10 meters away. Exclamations sounded. The outcome of this most eye-catching battle had been preliminarily determined. Alas, I've long guessed that this would be the result. No matter how powerful Qin Feng is, he can't be a match for Hun Chinquan. Senior brother Chinquan is too fierce. May I ask who else can be a match for him besides the elders? After sending Qin Feng flying with a punch, Hun Chinquan's face was full of pride. He didn't give Qin Feng a chance to catch his breath. His figure leaped into the air, and he suddenly pulled out the big saber on his back and slashed down. Rumble. Suddenly, a white saber light whistled like a long dragon. The disciples below the stage were stunned. This Hun Chinquan was aiming at Qin Feng's life. "A mere ant dares to be insolent in front of me. Hurry up and reincarnate." As the saber fell, Hun Chinquan laughed and roared. However, the smile on his face suddenly froze. The saber split the martial arts field in 2, but Qin Feng's figure was nowhere to be seen. Swish! A subtle wind whistled past. Qin Feng stepped on his flying sword and came behind Hun Chinquan. Hun Chinquan's reaction was also swift. He quickly turned around and slashed, but he still didn't hit Qin Feng. "You have a flying sword? Who the hell are you?" Hun Chinquan's expression changed drastically. Even with his current status in the Hun Yuan sect, he didn't have a flying sword. Seeing Qin Feng hovering in the air on a flying sword, the crowd below the stage exclaimed. Even the 4 elders who were sitting as stable as mountains stood up and stared at Qin Feng in the air with scorching eyes. They thought to themselves, this kid actually has a flying sword? Moreover, it's an extremely high-quality pink flying sword. A mere flying sword can shock you like this? You're too inexperienced. Qin Feng's expression was indifferent. Han Qinquan was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Even in the Divine Continent, flying swords weren't common. Most of them existed in the hands of sect leaders and elders. As for disciples, only 4-star or 5-star sects had the ability to get their hands on a flying sword. Han Qinquan's eyes lit up. He turned the back of his saber and leaped into the air. Very well, this flying sword is mine. Rumble. As soon as the flying sword appeared, Han Qinquan seemed to have become a different person. He no longer held back his strength. The wind brought about by his saber was obviously several times stronger, as if it was going to blow away the house. The pink light flickered in the air. Qin Feng stepped on the flying sword and quickly retreated. After fighting for a while, Qin Feng realized how powerful Han Qinquan was. Although he had the ability to escape from Han Qinquan, it wasn't easy to kill him. The two of them chased after each other. Wherever Qin Feng went, the stone surface would be filled with holes from the explosions. Their fight was so violent that the other 8 disciples had stopped fighting and left the entire stage to Qin Feng and Han Qinquan. The flying sword was too fast. After chasing for a while, Han Qinquan lost his patience and roared at the sky. Surnamed Qin, are you afraid of me? Why do you only dare to run? Chapter 1523. Qin Feng wasn't afraid of Han Qinquan. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone up to the stage to fight him. He was purposely wasting Han Qinquan's time. Seeing that Han Qinquan's mind was in a mess, he had achieved his goal. Swoosh! A pink light flashed in the air. Qin Feng, who was escaping, suddenly changed direction and shot toward Han Qinquan like a meteor. Qin Feng's action was too sudden. Han Qinquan was so shocked that he stopped chasing. But at this moment, a golden light flashed. A several 100-meter-long saber light descended from the sky like a surging golden dragon. Rumble. Qin Feng, who had stepped into stage 7 immortal energy, used this golden phoenix slash. Its power was many times stronger than before. The sky was covered by the saber light, and a deafening sound rang out. Han Qinquan looked up at the sky, his brows tightly knitted together. He didn't have time to think, and hurriedly slashed out with his saber. A white light flashed and collided with the golden light coming from the sky. Violent saber energy shot out in all directions, forcing the spectating disciples to retreat 100 meters. Qin Feng leaped away as soon as his saber landed. This saber was fierce and fast, catching Han Qinquan off guard and sending him flying to the ground. The noisy training field suddenly quietened down. The atmosphere was extremely strange. Not long ago, they were talking about how Qin Feng couldn't withstand a single blow from Han Qinquan. Not long after, Han Qinquan was sent flying by Qin Feng. Are my eyes playing tricks on me? The person on the ground is senior brother Qinquan? Crazy, crazy. When did a ferocious person like Qin Feng appear among the odd job disciples? This is too terrifying. Qin Feng is clearly at stage 7 immortal energy, but he can fight against Han Qinquan, who is at stage 8. This is really interesting. Even one of the elders, Han Qigong, was amazed and muttered to himself. Elder Han Bai nodded. This Qin Feng kid is not bad. With more training, his future is limitless. Han Yuanhai's face turned pale when he heard the two of them. Han Qinquan was his proudest disciple. He still hoped that Han Qinquan could be the top of this year's dragon leaderboard. How could he let Qin Feng have the upper hand? As for Han Tianjiao, she didn't say anything, but she was more and more shocked. Back then, she had not taken a fancy to Qin Feng and was even unwilling to accept him as a servant disciple of the Hunyuan sect. However, now that he had witnessed Qin Feng's strength, Han Tianjiao felt as if he had been slapped in the face. The cheers that originally belonged to Han Qinquan were transferred to Qin Feng, and Han Qinquan immediately gritted his teeth in anger. That slash did not seriously injure him. He leaped and instantly shot towards Qin Feng, who was in midair. Brat, don't be too cocky. I haven't even displayed my true strength yet. Hun Shinkuan waved his hand, and the long saber in his hand slashed down from above his head. Primordial Chaos 7 Sabers. First style, Cloud Slash. Rumble. As his long saber descended, dark clouds gathered in the sky. However, those were not real clouds, but saber clouds condensed from saber chi. Everyone below the stage looked up, their eyes filled with shock. Is this the supreme secret manual of the Hunyuan sect, the Hunyuan 7 Sabers? He's too powerful. It said that only the core disciples of the sect are qualified to impart the mixed origin 7 Sabers. However, this saber technique is profound and difficult to understand. Even if it's imparted, one might not be able to learn it. It all depends on one's comprehension. The mixed origin 7 sabers is divided into 7 levels. Big Brother Chinkuan is only using the first move, but it's already so powerful. It's hard to imagine what the 7th move will be like. Don't even think about it. Even our sect leader probably hasn't mastered the 7th move. As soon as the mixed origin 7 sabers appeared, the 4 elders all stood up. Qin Fen looked at the dense saber clouds above his head, his expression solemn. This was not the first time he had come into contact with the mixed origin 7 sabers. More than a month ago, when he killed Hun Jun on the Celestial Fox Mountain, that guy had used the first move, Cloud Slash. However, Hun Jun was only at the 6th stage of Immortal Qi, so the Cloud Slash he used was not even half as powerful as Hun Shinkuan. Break! Qin Fen did not dare to delay and hurriedly raised his saber and slashed at the void. Suddenly, a golden saber light that was hundreds of meters long rose into the sky like a long dragon, dispersing the saber clouds above Qin Fen's head. However, a moment later, a new saber cloud condensed. Rumble. The saber cloud above Qin Fen's head was getting closer and closer, producing a series of muffled, thunderous sounds. However, Qin Fen did not retreat. Suddenly, he flew up into the sky, and when he was halfway, he clenched his hand in the void. His action made the crowd somewhat confused. However, in the next moment, a fiery red spear appeared in Qin Fen's hand. The spear shook, and thousands of red rays shot out like flying arrows, piercing countless cracks in the saber cloud in the sky. Rumble. The loud explosions did not stop. The light of the sun penetrated the saber cloud, and it was a strange sight. Seeing that the saber cloud was about to dissipate, Hun Shinkuan's expression turned cold, and the long saber in his hand fell again. Qin, you want to compete with me in terms of energy? You are far from it. Swish! As soon as the saber fell, the clouds in the sky condensed again, and in a short while, it became a scene of dark clouds covering the sun. Qin Fen casually stabbed with his spear a few times, but he found that the saber cloud condensed this time was hard and thick, and he could not penetrate it. Arrow. Seeing that the saber cloud was about to land, Qin Fen shouted. Suddenly, a holy white light fell from the sky, and Qin Fen grabbed it in his hand. Before everyone could see the appearance of the cloud-piercing arrow, the white light flashed and shot straight into the sky. Rumble. It seemed like a simple arrow, but it set off an earth-shattering battle. The clouds in the void were blasted into a large crack, as if the sky had been torn apart. Arrow. This was just the beginning, and Qin Fen's second arrow had already been shot. It seemed that in an instant, the clouds exploded again, scattering into countless small cloud spots. The battle between the two was extremely intense and wonderful, causing the crowd to scream and start to move. Hun Shinkuan was shocked by Qin Fen's strength. His Cloud Slash, the first move of the primordial Chaos 7 Sabers, had long been practiced to the point of perfection. Even if he was fighting against an enemy of the same realm, he could kill his opponent. But now, facing Qin Fen, who was a realm lower than him, he was actually broken by his opponent. Qin Fen, I want to see how long you can last. Hun Shinkuan was furious, and he ignored the saber cloud above his head. With a flip of his hand, he slashed down again. The second move of the primordial Chaos 7 Sabers, Sea of Fire. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. As the saber fell, the weather changed. A powerful saber chi surged out, but the saber chi suddenly turned into hundreds of flames in the air, as if it was going to set the prairie ablaze. The crowd was excited again. The second move of the primordial chaos 7 sabers? Senior brother Chinkuan has actually practiced the second move. The saber chi turned into a sea of fire, burning everything it went to. This primordial chaos 7 sabers is too powerful. That Chin kid is dead this time. He can't escape the power of the sea of fire. The power of the second move shocked the audience. More than half of the 500 or 600 people present saw the second move of the primordial chaos 7 sabers for the first time. Zhou Tian and the other handyman disciples were so scared that they almost knelt down. Lin Bei Bei and the other 4 girls wanted to rush into the arena to help Qin Fan fight. Just as the saber chi and sea of fire enveloped Qin Fan, another loud sound exploded in the arena. Whoosh! The weather changed, and a violent snowstorm suddenly appeared in the arena. The snowstorm enveloped the saber chi and sea of fire. These 2 extreme elements were engaged in a fierce battle. However, the result was very obvious. The moment the saber chi touched the snowstorm, it disappeared. The sudden situation caused the crowd to exclaim again. Hun Chinkuan was stunned on the spot, and he couldn't come back to his senses. His second move, the Sea of Fire, was so fierce, but it was blocked by Qin Fan. The saber chi and Sea of Fire had completely disappeared, but the snowstorm was still fierce. Qin Fan's cold voice came out of the snowstorm. Don't tell me that's all you can do. If that's the case, I'll be very disappointed. Qin Fan's words shocked the crowd. That was Hun Chinkuan, the #1 disciple in the primordial sect. Usually, no one dared to recruit him, but now Qin Fan, as a handyman disciple, had slapped him in the face again and again. Hun Chinkuan's emotions fluctuated violently, and he had a ferocious look on his face. He roared and swung his saber. The aura on his body seemed to have skyrocketed several times. The third move of the primordial chaos 7 sabers, Ice Heaven. Before the saber fell, everyone's screams were like a surging tide. The primordial chaos 7 sabers was the treasure of the primordial sect. There were a total of 7 moves, and each move was extremely powerful. However, there were very few people who could practice the third move. Among the disciples, only Hun Chinkuan had practiced it to this level. Whoosh! The long saber fell to the ground. This saber technique caused the sky to change. The surging saber chi condensed into ice thorns, as if people had fallen into a world of ice and snow. The ice thorns had already shot towards Qin Fan, but they were blocked by the snowstorm around him. Qin Fan's snowstorm was caused by 1,000-year-old ice crystals. How could the ice condensed by Hun Chinkuan's aura compare to it? How could this be? Even senior brother Chinkuan's third move was blocked? The snowstorm released by Qin Fan is very special. I feel like I'll be frozen to death if I get a little closer. This kid is extraordinary and unusual. The disciples below the stage were shocked again. The 4 elders sitting opposite the stage had already stood up. Hun Chinkuan's saber failed, so he was more or less nervous. However, he still had the illusion of swinging his saber a second time, condensing the ice thorns in the air like rain. Since you used the ice blade, I'll use the Sea of Fire to deal with you. Qin Fan's cold voice came out of the snowstorm, as if it was the call of death from hell. When he opened his eyes, 2 flames shot out. The raging snowstorm around him disappeared and was shrouded by the Sea of Fire. When the ice that Hun Chinkuan struck touched the purple cloud immortal fire, it had already melted completely. Rumble. The immortal fire was unstoppable and burned all the way to Hun Chinkuan. His black robe was immediately burned, and even his hair was on fire. Hun Chinkuan screamed in the fire and suddenly turned into a black shadow and rushed into the sky. When he appeared again, he slashed at Qin Fan again. Qin, if I don't kill you today, I'm not a human. Fourth move of the mixed essence 7 sabers, thunder collapse. Crackle. As soon as he roared, there was a burst of thunder. The crowd below the stage was dumbfounded. Dark clouds intertwined in the void above their heads, and dozens of intertwined lightning bolts were striking the ground. The fourth move. Senior brother Chinkuin has practiced the fourth move. This is heavenly thunder. Should we run for our lives? If we get hit, we'll be dead. Chapter 1524. Someone realized something was wrong. Soon, most people realized it. Han Chinkuin's fourth move, Collapsing Thunder, was clearly not as powerful as the real one. However, this weakened version of Collapsing Thunder was enough to shock everyone. Big brother Yuan Hai, you've really taken in a good disciple. He's only 35, and he's already grasped the key to Collapsing Thunder. If you continue to nurture him, he'll be famous in the entire North Sand region. Han Qigong looked at Han Chinkuin with burning eyes. He sighed inwardly. Why wasn't this person his disciple? Elder Han Bai was also fascinated. He couldn't help but say, once Collapsing Thunder is used, those below level 9 are like ants. Though Chinkuin's attack isn't powerful enough, Qin Feng is only at level 7. He's bound to die. Han Yuanhai grinned widely at the praise of the two elders. Han Tianjiao stood at the side coldly and didn't say anything. Oh, that Qin Feng kid is at level 7, but he's only a servant disciple. That's really strange. Han Qigong changed the topic. Elder Han Bai's eyes twinkled as he stared at Qin Feng and said, why don't we let this fight end here and count it as Han Chinkuin's victory? As for Qin Feng, I plan to take him as my disciple. The four elders felt that if they continued, Qin Feng would definitely die from Collapsing Thunder. Elder Han Bai saw Qin Feng's potential and stood up for him to keep him alive. If Qin Feng was killed, why would he take in a disciple? Han Qigong also had the idea of taking Qin Feng in. He wanted to talk to Qin Feng alone after the fight, but Elder Han Bai suggested the same thing. Now, Han Qigong was a little worried. Haha, Elder Han Bai, you already have many core disciples. Will you be able to handle all of them? I think you should just give Qin Feng to me. Don't burden you too much. Han Qigong said it like it was true. Elder Han Bai cursed inwardly, but he couldn't openly offend him. Stop arguing. There's no rule of stopping halfway in the sect competition. This fight has to go on. Han Yuanhai suddenly said coldly. Elder Han Bai and Han Qigong cursed in their hearts. How could they not see through Han Yuanhai's intentions? If this battle didn't stop, Qin Feng would definitely die. At that time, how could they accept a disciple? The reason why Han Yuanhai did this was to protect his number one disciple, Han Chinkuin, as well as his position as the Great Elder. Elder Yuanhai, if you don't stop the fight, Qin Feng will definitely die. Such an outstanding disciple had fallen, just like that. This is a loss to the entire Han Yuan sect. Han Qigong was still a little unwilling and wanted to fight for it. Elder Han Bai also added, we agree that Qin Feng should just lose this round. Why must he continue to fight and kill someone? Primordial Chaos, had his own selfish motives. Now that he was being questioned by the other two elders, he more or less felt a little guilty. This rule was personally set by the Clear Sky sect leader. The battle could not be stopped midway. Furthermore, it's common for deaths and injuries to occur during the inter-sect tournament. You shouldn't be held responsible for pursuing disciples. If you're not satisfied, you can look for the sect leader of the Clear Sky. Han Yuanhai directly brought up the sect leader, so Elder Han Bai and Han Qigong could only remain silent. At this moment, the battle on the arena was at its most intense moment. Qin Feng couldn't fight back under the thunder crash and could only flee on his flying sword. How could Han Chinkuin give Qin Feng a chance to survive? He kept waving the long saber in his hand. As he waved, the sky was filled with thunder, and it felt like the end of the world was coming. Rumble. A bolt of lightning exploded under Qin Feng's feet, and a violent airflow sent him flying to the ground. Han Chinkuin was instantly overjoyed and quickly chased after him with his saber. As soon as the figure leaped into the air, he slashed towards the ground. Crackle. This saber instantly condensed into a bolt of lightning, as if it was going to blast Qin Feng into pieces in the next moment. The crowd was already exclaiming incessantly. Was this exciting battle of supremes going to completely end? Master quickly used the hunting pincer to deal with him. Little Pig's anxious voice was heard. Actually, there was no need for it to remind him. Qin Feng had already activated his thoughts, and the earthworm-sized hunting pincer leaped out. Lightning flickered above his head, and the hunting pincer was now competing with the lightning in speed. However, it turned into a white shadow and disappeared in a flash. Even Qin Feng couldn't see it clearly. What the hell? Get out here! Hun Qinquan, whose saber was about to slash at his waist, suddenly roared angrily. This strange action confused everyone. His surging saber energy quickly dissipated, and even the lightning in the sky dimmed. This sudden turn of events shocked the 4 Hun Yuan Sea Elders. The 4 of them looked dumbfoundedly at Hun Qinquan, who was roaring and jumping around on the arena. They even wondered if this guy had a sudden onset of epilepsy. You dare to devour my Dantian? What the hell are you? Hun Qinquan didn't have time to pay attention to everyone's strange gazes. At this moment, he was so scared that he was sweating profusely. The thing that leaped into his body was actually eating his Dantian's chi. How terrifying was this? Master, Hun Qinquan's realm is too high. The hunting pincer is about to be forced out. Little Pig shouted. Qin Feng forcefully supported his body, and when he leaped up, he swung his saber. Suddenly, the sky flashed with golden light. The hundreds of meters long saber energy fell to the ground like a long dragon, scaring Hun Qinquan into hurriedly retreating. Stinking brat, did you trick me? No matter how stupid Hun Qinquan was, he could guess the relationship. The thing that leaped into his body was most likely Qin Feng's doing. However, Hun Qinquan felt even more tormented at this moment. On one hand, he tried his best to force the hunting pincer out, and on the other hand, he had to resist Qin Feng's attack. In the end, he couldn't care about either side. Qin Feng knew that this was the most critical moment. The golden phoenix in his hand continued to fall. The golden light flickered and fluctuated, immediately exploding the stone floor on the arena into an intricate spiderweb. Hun Qinquan resisted for a moment, but in a moment of absent-mindedness, he was hit by the saber. The surging saber energy exploded around him, directly blasting him dozens of meters into the air. Swish! With a flash of pink light, Qin Feng seemed to be in midair in an instant. The golden phoenix in his hand was replaced by a long spear. The body of the spear was fiery red, revealing a spiritual aura. However, before Qin Feng could attack with the spear, a roar came from the elders' seats. Qin Feng wins this battle. The battle is over now. It was Hun Yuan Hai who shouted. He had long been stunned by the change in the situation. Originally, everyone thought that Qin Feng would die under the thunder crash, but they didn't expect Hun Qinquan to suddenly go crazy. Now, if this battle continued, Hun Qinquan would be the one to die. A gloating smile flashed in the eyes of Hun Qigong and Hun Bai. The two of them tried to persuade Hun Qinquan to stop the battle, but Hun Yuan Hai refused. Unexpectedly, he stood up and wanted to end the battle. When the disciples were shocked by Hun Yuan Hai's actions, they saw light suddenly radiate in midair. Thousands of red spear lights flew toward Hun Qinquan like sharp arrows, and it felt like thousands of arrows were piercing his heart. The air froze at this moment. No one would have thought that Qin Feng actually wanted to kill Hun Qinquan. Just how daring was this person? How dare you? Hun Yuan Hai roared anxiously, but halfway through his roar, there was an explosion in midair. Hun Qinquan's body bloomed like fireworks, splattering flesh and blood all over the ground. Thud! The spear fell, and Qin Feng landed steadily on the ground. His white robe was stained with a lot of dust, and his hair was also messed up by the strong wind. However, his indifferent and proud expression and aura made all the disciples revere him from the bottom of their hearts. Eldest senior brother Qinquan is dead. That servant disciple can actually kill Hun Qinquan? The world has changed. I'm afraid the Hun Yuan sect is going to change. Hun Xinquan's death caused a commotion among the crowd. He was the #1 disciple of the Hun Yuan sect and the favorite disciple of Hun Yuan Hai's Grand Elder. However, Qin Feng killed him in public without hesitation. Didn't that mean that he had offended Hun Yuan Hai's Grand Elder? Swish! For a moment, hundreds of pairs of eyes fell on Hun Yuan Hai. At this moment, Hun Yuan Hai's black robe was fluttering without wind. His face was ferocious, and the gray hair on the top of his head stood up. "Brat, how dare you kill my beloved disciple? I'm going to tear you into pieces." Boom. Hun Yuan Hai was furious and suddenly slapped with his palm. He was originally hundreds of meters away from Qin Feng, but he seemed to be in front of Qin Feng in a breath's time. The palm wind was so strong that Qin Feng couldn't breathe. He didn't even have the ability to escape, let alone fight with Hun Yuan Hai. Qin Feng couldn't see through the old man's realm, but he guessed that he had at least stepped into the peak of Stage 9 Immortal Qi realm. Bang! There was a loud explosion. Everyone thought that Qin Feng would be killed by Hun Yuan Hai's palm, but they saw another black figure standing on the arena and blocking Hun Yuan Hai's palm wind with a punch. "Hun Qigong, what are you doing?" Hun Yuan Hai roared angrily, and his nose was crooked. Hun Qigong took 2 steps back, marveling at Hun Yuan Hai's current strength. Although the two seemed to be evenly matched on the surface, Hun Qigong's aura was tumbling and chaotic, and he was obviously at a disadvantage. "Grand Elder Yuan Hai, what are you doing?" Hun Qigong pretended to be calm and questioned. "Do I need you to care what I do? If you don't move aside, don't blame me for being impolite," Hun Yuan Hai roared. Seeing that the 2 elders were about to fight, the disciples below the arena were scared out of their wits. At this time, Elder Hun Bai also jumped onto the arena and stood on Hun Qigong's side. "Elder Yuan Hai, Qin Feng did kill Hun Xinquan, but according to the rules of the sect tournament, it's common for deaths and injuries to occur during fights, and disciples can't be held responsible. This is what you told us just now. Don't tell me you've forgotten it." Hun Yuan Hai choked and couldn't say anything for a long time. He stared coldly at Elder Hun Bai and Hun Qigong, not daring to attack rashly. Although he wasn't afraid of anyone in a one-on-one fight, he was still lacking in a one-on-two fight. This brat deliberately wanted to kill my beloved disciple, Xinquan. I already stopped him, but he ignored me. What's the use of keeping such an unruly disciple? Hun Yuan Hai finally found something to talk about. Chapter 1525. As soon as Qin Fen finished speaking, the entire crowd was in an uproar. Everyone looked at Qin Fen in disbelief, thinking that this person was too fierce. He actually dared to speak to Hun Yuan Hai's great elder in an interrogative tone. Even Hun Qigong and Elder Hun Bai were stunned. As for Hun Yuan Hai, his face was already livid with anger. "Did you see that? What's the point of nurturing such an arrogant disciple who has no respect for his elders? Even if we really nurture him, he may not stay in our Hun Yuan sect in the future." Hun Yuan Hai's immortal qi surged. He was determined to kill Qin Fen. Elder Hun Bai and Hun Qigong wanted to retreat. They also felt that Qin Fen was too arrogant. Such a disciple was not easy to nurture. "You want me to respect you? The premise is that you have something worthy of my respect, but why can't I find it?" Facing a great elder, Qin Fen did not give him any face. This was because when he was almost killed by Hun Xinquan's thunder, he heard Hun Yuan Hai insisting on continuing the fight. Hun Yuan Hai was completely enraged and shouted at Hun Qigong and Hun Bai, "If you two don't leave, don't blame me for falling out with you." The two looked embarrassed, but they finally jumped off the ring. Although they saw Qin Fen's potential, they were also a little unhappy with his kid's unruly behavior. Only Qin Fen and Primordial Sea were left in the arena. How could Primordial Sea still take Qin Fen seriously? Suddenly, a gust of wind surged from his body. Just as he was about to strike with his palm, he saw another black shadow land on the arena. "Elder Hun Yuan, wait. This guy can't be killed." Hun Yuan Hai retracted his move angrily, glared at the person on the ring, and shouted, "Hun Tianjiao, why are you meddling?" Looking at Hun Tianjiao, standing on the big ring, the The crowd was surprised. No one expected that this female elder would stand up to help Qin Fun. Qin Fun was stunned, not understanding Han Tianjiao's thoughts. However, Han Tianjiao said indifferently, "Qin Fun is my core disciple, so I have to come forward and meddle in this matter." Han Tianjiao's words caused a burst of exclamations. Everyone thought that Qin Fun was just a handyman disciple. Who would have thought that he would become a core disciple? Han Yuan Hai was shocked and said involuntarily, "Are you kidding? Qin Feng is just a servant disciple of the Han Yuan sect. When did he become your disciple?" Han Tianjiao's expression didn't change. He didn't seem to be lying at all. "Over a month ago, I represented the Han Yuan sect in recruiting disciples at Scarlet Street Market. At that time, I accepted Su Ruoro, Zhao Lingxian, and Qin Feng as core disciples. Everyone who went with me knew about this, so why would I lie?" Primordial Chaos C stared coldly at Primordial Chaos with a ferocious expression. If Qin Feng was just an odd-job disciple, Primordial Chaos C wouldn't even bother killing him. However, if Qin Feng was a core disciple of the Han Yuan sect, even the great elder of the Han Yuan C would not dare to lay a finger on him. Furthermore, Primordial Chaos C was experienced and astute. He could tell at a glance that Primordial Chaos was lying. However, he couldn't expose this lie because the team that went to Red Street Market to recruit disciples were all under Prodigy Han. Those people would naturally speak up for Prodigy Han. "Are you sure you want to protect that kid?" After confronting for a long time, Han Yuan Hai gnashed his teeth and glared at Han Tianjiao. Han Tianjiao pretended to be indifferent. "Since Qin Fun is my core disciple, I naturally won't watch you kill him. Furthermore, core disciples are the backbone of the Han Yuan sect. They are the targets that the sect leader of the Clear Sky ordered to focus on nurturing. If you kill Qin Fun today, I believe that the sect leader of the Clear Sky will not let you off easily." Among the four elders, Primordial Chaos C was the strongest. Primordial Chaos C admitted that he was no match for Primordial Chaos C, but he immediately suppressed Primordial Chaos C when he mentioned the sect leader of the Clear Sky. Good. Primordial Chaos C said the word good 3 times in a row. He glared at Qin Fun and Primordial Chaos C and continued, "There's still a long way to go. Let's wait and see." Primordial Chaos C swung his sleeves and left angrily. After he left, the disciples below the stage heaved a long sigh of relief, and the huge oppressive atmosphere gradually eased. Primordial Chaos C helped Qin Fun this time, but the two of them did not communicate at all. At this moment, Primordial Chaos C had already walked down the stage and returned to the elders' seats. Elder Hun Bai and Hun Qigong were depressed. They had fought for Qin Fun for a long time, but in the end, Qin Fun became Primordial Chaos C's disciple. The farce was over, and the sect competition continued. The remaining 8 disciples had already finished their battles, and in the end, 4 people advanced. These 4 people and Qin Fun made a total of 5 people, and the 5 of them had to compete for the top 3 places on the Dragon Roll. After Primordial Chaos C left, Primordial Chaos C was in charge of drawing lots. One of the 5 people would draw a blank lot, and the person who drew a blank lot would advance directly without fighting. When Qin Fun came up to draw lots, Primordial Chaos C's palm moved, and a bamboo lot automatically appeared. This action did not escape the eyes of Elder Hun Bai and Hun Qigong, but they both pretended not to see it. Unsurprisingly, Qin Fun drew a blank lot, but he was not stupid enough to think that Primordial Chaos C was really helping him. This old woman was sinister and cunning, and she was completely thinking of her own interests. Qin Fun almost did not participate in the following battles. He waited until it was time for the top of the Dragon Roll, and then walked up the stage. His opponent was Hun Dalong, who was ranked 2nd on the previous Dragon Roll. As soon as Hun Dalong got on the stage, he said loudly, "I automatically forfeit this battle. Big Brother Qin Fun is powerful, and I admit that I'm no match for him." His words caused the crowd to boil. Everyone was still thinking that there would be another exciting battle to feast their eyes on, but they did not expect Hun Dalong to directly forfeit. After hearing the news, Elder Hun shook his head and sighed. Hun Dalong was his proudest disciple, and he still hoped that Hun Dalong could win the top of this year's dragon roll. But soon, Elder Hun calmed down. He knew very well that Hun Dalong was no match for Qin Fun, and even if he fought, he would definitely lose. When Hun Dalong walked down the stage, he let out a long sigh of relief. After seeing Qin Fun's power, the disciples of Primordial Chaos Sect did not even have the courage to look at him. This person killed Hun Qianquan in front of the great elder of Primordial Chaos Sea. How arrogant was that? Hun Dalong did not want to follow in Hun Qianquan's footsteps. The sect competition of Primordial Chaos Sect had completely ended, and the top 10 disciples on the dragon roll had almost no change. However, the number 1 position was out of everyone's expectations. Qin Fan stood alone on the spacious stage, like a god of war that had descended to the mortal world. Many disciples had already rushed up to celebrate, and Su Ruoro and the other girls were the most excited. Before, they were worried to death. Hun Changbai and Hun Qigong shook their heads and sighed as they left. A sneaky smile flashed across Hun Tianjiao's icy face. Just as Qin Fan had guessed, Hun Tianjiao did not really want to help him, and even hated him. But now that Qin Fan had won, Hun Tianjiao's status among the elders had also risen, and he could even get a generous reward of resources. This was what she needed. Big Brother Qin, why you're too amazing. You're now the number 1 disciple of Primordial Chaos Sect. Zhou Tian's excited voice trembled. He still felt like he was dreaming. Su Ruoro and the other girls had already surrounded Qin Fan, and they were cheering like 5 little birds. As for the outer and inner disciples, they only dared to stand slightly further away. Previously, they had mocked Qin Fan in all sorts of ways, and now they were afraid that Qin Fan would take revenge. After a while, Hun Tianjiao walked over, and the crowd immediately made way for him. Qin Fan, come with me. We're going to get the reward for being first on the dragon leaderboard. Hun Tianjiao revealed her foxtail. Qin Fan did not say much and left with her. Su Ruoro and the other girls also followed. Hun Tianjiao knew their relationship with Qin Fan, so he did not stop them. They came to the sect's resource storage pavilion, and as soon as they entered, they could feel the extremely dense spirit qi floating around. Elder Tianjiao, congratulations. We just received news that this year's sect competition is won by your disciple. There were many disciples guarding the resource pavilion. Qin Fan casually glanced at a few of them, and they were all at stage 8 immortal qi. As for the old man who was talking to Hun Tianjiao, his realm was even higher, and Qin Fan could not even see through him. Hun Tianjiao did not put on airs in front of the old man, and smiled. Elder Tian is too polite. This is my disciple Qin Fan. The old man, called Elder Tian, looked at Qin Fan, and his eyes were as clear as water, making Qin Fan feel a bit pressured. Hee, not bad, not bad. You're at stage 7 immortal qi at such a young age. With more nurturing, you'll definitely become someone great. After seeing through Qin Fan's realm, Elder Tian was more or less confused. Wasn't Hun Qianquan at stage 8 immortal qi? Could it be that he could not beat this brat in front of him? However, Elder Tian did not ask too much. His duty was to be in charge of the resource pavilion's safety, and other matters had nothing to do with him. The rewards for being first on the dragon leaderboard exceeded Qin Fan's expectations. The rewards were abnormally generous. From medicinal pills and secret manuals to spiritual weapons and spirit stones. Not only did Qin Fan receive generous rewards, but as his master, Hun Tianjiao also received many cultivation resources. This was the main reason why she helped Qin Fan earlier. After receiving their cultivation resources, they left the resource pavilion. As soon as they left, Hun Tianjiao said coldly, Qin Fan, as long as you give me all the resources you received, I can immediately help you complete the procedures to become a core disciple. Qin Fan knew that this old woman was up to no good, but he was no match for Hun Tianjiao. So he pretended to say, okay, as long as you let me become a core disciple first, I'll give you all my resources. The 5 women were very unhappy with Han Tianjiao's actions, especially Su Ruoro and Zhao Lingxian. The two of them had followed Han Tianjiao for a month, and they had a bit of a master-disciple relationship. They did not think that Han Tianjiao would burn the bridge after crossing it. Han Tianjiao ignored the 5 women's expressions. Seeing that Qin Fan had agreed, a hint of pride flashed in her eyes. Don't worry, a core disciple spot is nothing to me. Plus, now that you've offended the immemorial sea, if you want to stay in the immemorial sect peacefully, you'll have to listen to my orders. Bookmark for easier reading. Chapter 1526. Qin Fan agreed to Heaven's Pride's request, as if he was really afraid of Heaven's Pride. Han Tianjiao gleefully left to help Qin Fan with the procedures to become a core disciple. He then wanted to take away the cultivation resources that Qin Fan had obtained. Qin Fan, that old woman isn't a good person. It's very dangerous for you to be her disciple. Let's hurry up and leave this place. You risked your life to get those cultivation resources. Why are you giving them to that old woman? I really didn't expect Master Prodigy to do such a thing. I feel so sad. As soon as Han Tianjiao left, the girls began to discuss heatedly. Qin Fan smiled and said, "Don't worry, I know Han Tianjiao has bad intentions. I don't really want to become a core disciple of the Hunyuan sect. The reason I did this was to make that old woman lower her guard." After the women understood Qin Fan's intentions, they were more or less relieved. Qin Fan continued, "Now that the sect competition has just ended, there will be a celebration banquet tonight. Let's take advantage of tonight to leave this place and find the celestial sect." Qin Fan had already planned everything. The 5 women became excited. They knew that the divine Great Land had been merged, and that Lu Jie and the other sisters had come to the divine world. Su Ruoro and the other 4 women had long wanted to meet up with everyone at Spiritual Immortal Sect. When night fell, the Hunyuan sect celebration party was already bustling with noise and excitement. The empty space beside the martial arts field was filled with tables and chairs. All kinds of wine and delicacies dazzled the eyes. Many tables were already filled with people. Not only were the inner and core disciples attending the banquet, but the outer disciples and even the servant disciples were also here. We really owe it to Big Brother Qin. How could we, the odd job disciples, participate in the sect's banquets in the past? In the future, everyone must follow Big Brother Qin well. Zhou Tian and a few other servant disciples sat together, unable to conceal the joy on their faces. The group of odd job disciples all nodded. Even without Zhou Tian saying anything, they were prepared to follow Qin Fan to the death. That's not right, Brother Tian. Big Brother Qin is no longer a service disciple. He's now a core disciple and is being nurtured by a genius elder. A disciple suddenly shouted. The group of odd job disciples was stunned. They had almost forgotten about this matter. It's over, it's over. There's no one to protect us now. After Big Brother Qin becomes a core disciple, he will definitely look down on us. Little fatty, don't talk nonsense. I know Big Brother Qin the best. He's definitely not that kind of person. Even if Big Brother Qin goes to the inner sect area, he won't put on airs in front of us, Zhou Tian shouted angrily. The odd job disciples could only shut their mouths. However, they hadn't interacted much with Qin Fan, so they still felt that Qin Fan wouldn't hang out with them. That was a core disciple of the sect, and the difference between their identities was like heaven and earth. Everyone's here. At this moment, Qin Fan walked over, but the 5 women were nowhere to be seen. The group of odd job disciples lowered their heads in fear, while Zhou Tian jumped up in excitement. Big Brother Qin, you're here. Everyone's waiting for you. Qin Fan could tell that the odd job disciples were afraid of him, but he didn't care. He winked at Zhou Tian and brought him to a less crowded place. Big Brother Qin, is there something you need from me? Zhou Tian was a smart guy. Qin Fan lowered his voice and said, I'm going to leave with the ladies tonight. Do me a favor. Zhou Tian was taken aback. He looked at Qin Fan in surprise. Big Brother Qin, you're leaving? You've just been promoted to a core disciple. You have a bright future ahead of you. Qin Feng smiled. I've already killed Han Qinquan. Do you think you can still stay in the sect? Zhou Tian quickly understood what Qin Feng meant. He knew that Qin Feng was protected by Elder Han Tianjiao, but Han Tianjiao was the strongest among the four elders. If the old man really wanted to deal with Qin Feng, even Han Tianjiao couldn't do anything. All right, big brother Qin, hurry up and leave tonight. If there's anything I can help you with, just let me know. Zhou Tian was a little reluctant when he heard that Qin Feng was leaving. Qin Feng knew that he wasn't wrong. He looked around to make sure that no one was paying attention to him. He took out a bag of medicine and gave it to Zhou Tian. Find a chance to put the powder into the wine jar. If someone comes looking for me later, tell them that I'm going to the Odd Job Disciple District to pack my luggage and prepare to move into the inner sect. Qin Feng gave him many instructions, and Zhou Tian remembered them all. When Qin Feng was about to leave, he turned around and added, Zhou Tian, do you remember what I said before? If you can't stay in the Han Yuan sect anymore, come find me at the Celestial Spirits sect. Qin Feng had already left, and Zhou Tian stood there dumbly. He didn't pay much attention to Qin Feng's words last time, but now that Qin Feng had become a Stage 7 Celestial Qi expert, Zhou Tian's heart started to waver. After giving Zhou Tian some instructions, Qin Feng went straight to Su Ruo Ro and Zhao Lingxian's residence. The 5 women were all in the house, and they looked a little anxious. They had been waiting for Qin Feng for a while. Qin Feng's back. Lin Bei Bei ran over happily, and the other 4 also rushed over with their bags. Qin Feng, everyone's packed their things. Are we leaving now? Zhao Lingxian asked. Qin Feng looked at the 5 women's luggage, and with a thought, he put the luggage into his star ring. I've taken care of things here. Let's go now. Under the night sky, the 6 of them carefully started to escape. Because there was a celebratory feast tonight, there were almost no disciples in the sect. The disciples were all gathered on the martial arts field. Qin Feng came to a secluded corner of a house and looked around to make sure there was no one around. Suddenly, a huge white light appeared on the ground. The women looked at the cool fighter jet that appeared out of nowhere and were momentarily dumbfounded. Don't just stand there. Get in. No, get in the fighter jet. Qin Feng's reminder caused the women to immediately come to their senses. The cool fighter jet on the ground was Qin Feng's most powerful star technology product, the White Phoenix fighter jet. Just as the women boarded the fighter jet, they heard a cold laugh. Ha! Qin Feng, you brat, you dared to kill my beloved disciple, Qinquan. Tonight will be the day you die. Qin Feng looked up into the night sky and saw a white figure quickly flying over. The figure was too fast, and Qin Feng couldn't catch it. However, from the voice, he could tell that it was Immemorial C. Not good, Immemorial C is here. Qin Feng, hurry up and get in. The 5 women jumped around in the fighter jet, and Qin Feng jumped into the cockpit. Rumble. A huge explosion sounded out. The White Phoenix fighter jet had just hovered in the air when the ground exploded into a huge crater. Swoosh! Qin Feng pushed the accelerator to the bottom, and the tail of the White Phoenix fighter jet shot out a bluish-purple flame. The White Phoenix fighter jet, which was slowly rising into the air, suddenly shot out like an arrow leaving the bow. Immemorial C was stunned, and he even forgot to chase after Qin Feng. He stared at the white that disappeared in the sky with a burning gaze and shouted, "A flying spirit weapon? This brat actually has a flying spirit weapon. Ha! It just so happens that I'm lacking such a treasure. This flying spirit weapon is mine." When he finished laughing, he stepped on a flying sword and chased after Qin Feng. Immemorial C's speed was extremely fast. Although the flying sword under his feet was only pink grade, his realm was high, and he was about to catch up to the White Phoenix fighter jet. Not good. That smelly old man is catching up. Su Ruo and the other women leaned on the window at the tail of the fighter jet and looked at the situation outside with a panicked expression. Qin Feng had already seen Immemorial C from the LCD screen in the cockpit. He quickly pressed a launch button beside his hand, and a rumbling sound came from the top of the fighter jet. A cool cannon was ready. Rumble. As the most powerful S-battle suit by Star Technology, The White Phoenix fighter jet had the super powerful ability to accurately locate the air cannon. With a loud bang, two beams of white light seemed to explode around Immemorial Sea in an instant, illuminating a large part of the night sky. The sound of the explosion was intense. However, the intensity of the explosion was not a threat to Immemorial Sea. He was just shocked by the sudden attack of the cannonball, and he began to dodge in all directions. When he realized that the air cannon could not hurt him, Qin Feng had already driven the White Phoenix fighter jet and disappeared into the distance. "You smelly brat. Even if you escape to the ends of the earth, I'll still tear you into pieces." Immemorial Sea was so angry that he roared in the open space. The intense commotion here attracted many people. "Elder Immemorial Sea, what happened to you?" Elder Hun Bai and Hun Qigong rushed over first, and they were puzzled when they saw the scene where a huge fight had taken place. Immemorial Sea was so angry that he blew his beard and glared at them. He did not say much to the two of them. At this moment, Hun Tianjiao also landed. When he saw her coming over, Immemorial Sea sneered. "Umph. Hun Tianjiao, that core disciple of yours, Qin Feng, is really powerful. He even dared to hit an elder like me. Was it your idea?" Hun Tianjiao, who had just completed the procedures for Qin Feng to become a core disciple, was confused. "What idea did I come up with?" "Immemorial Sea, don't slander me. What exactly happened here? Where is Qin Feng?" Seeing that Hun Tianjiao did not seem to be lying, Immemorial Sea was puzzled. If it was not Hun Tianjiao's instruction, how would Qin Feng dare to resist him? Could it be that this brat was really planning to escape? Huh. Hun Tianjiao. Oh, Hun Tianjiao, your precious disciple Qin Feng has already escaped with his wife. If I'm not wrong, you haven't gotten his cultivation resources, right? Immemorial Sea was astute, and he quickly figured out the reason. Hun Tianjiao was stunned on the spot, and he was so angry that he was about to explode. Qin Feng, as a disciple of Immemorial Sect, how dare he leave the sect without permission? What are you guys waiting for? Hurry up and catch Qin Feng back. Many disciples who came to watch were dumbfounded. How would they dare to chase Qin Feng? He was the existence who killed Hun Qiankuan's eldest senior brother. Immemorial Sea pointed to the southern sky and shouted. Qin Feng escaped in that direction. "Everyone, hurry up and chase him. No matter what, we must find that brat." The two elders gave the order at the same time, and the disciples had to obey. But when they were ready to move, they suddenly found that the aura in their bodies seemed to be suppressed, and they even lost the ability to qi. "Something's wrong. I seem to have been poisoned. There's something wrong with my body, too. I can't circulate my internal qi." At first, the four elders thought that these disciples were pretending to be sick, but later, all the disciples showed that they couldn't circulate their qi. It was obvious that they were really poisoned. Immemorial Sea immediately grabbed a disciple's wrist and checked it. He shouted with his eyes full of anger. He was poisoned by the qi dissipation powder. "This is not the poison of our sect. It must be Qin Feng who poisoned him. This guy had planned to escape tonight." Bookmark for easy reading. Chapter 15:27. While the Hunyuan sect was in chaos, Qin Feng had already flown dozens of miles away. Seeing that no one was chasing after them, Qin Feng and the others heaved a sigh of relief. "Qin Feng, where's the Celestial Spirits sect now? How are we going to find it? Ask anyone we see on the way. We'll definitely find it. Anyway, it's much better than staying in the Hunyuan sect. I wonder how Sister Ying and the others are doing. I hope everyone found the Celestial Spirits sect and is safe." The women discussed their next plan. They had just escaped from the Hunyuan sect, but they realized that there were more unknown dangers waiting for them. Just as the women feared, the landscape of the Divine Mainland had completely changed after the merger. The Divine Mainland used to be an insignificant existence in the Divine Mainland, and the Celestial Spirit sect was nowhere to be found. They asked many people along the way, but no one had heard of the Celestial Spirits sect, not even the Celestial Spirit City. Fortunately, Qin Feng refused to give up. Half a month later, he finally heard some bits of information. According to the group of rogue cultivators, they heard someone mention the Celestial Spirits sect in Luo City not long ago. At that time, they had also heard of the Celestial Spirits City. The news surprised Qin, Fun, and the others, and they immediately rushed to Luo City. Luo City was a relatively famous city in the North Sand Continent. It was not under the jurisdiction of any sect, but a few big families. Qin Fun had been in the Divine Mainland for nearly 2 months now, so he had a general understanding of the distribution of forces here. There were many forces on the Divine Mainland, good and bad mixed together. There were sects, big families, merchant groups, rogue cultivators, etc. The power of a big family was definitely not to be underestimated. It might even be stronger than a sect. Just like the few families in Luo City, it was said that there were experts in the Buddha Light realm guarding them. They were even more powerful than the Hunyuan sect, which was a 3-star sect. When the 5 arrived at Luo City, they were stunned by the prosperity here. The main city was bustling with people and carriages. Both sides of the streets were densely packed with shops, but the products sold were all ancient things. Most of them were items related to cultivation. After asking around, the 5 finally arrived at a remote mountain village under Luo City. The Celestial Spirits City was hidden in this area. Who are you? This mountain has been occupied. You better leave quickly. When Qin Feng's group of 5 arrived at the familiar mountain peak of Spiritual Immortal Sect, a few black shadows leaped out from the surroundings. As soon as they finished shouting, they were all stunned on the spot. A big and burly man cried out, "Holy shit! Boss, am I seeing things? Is it really you?" Qin Feng looked at Lu Jie, who was still as stupid as before, and couldn't help but kick him. "You damn fatty, don't you recognize me after not seeing me for only 2 months?" Long Hair, Yun Zhe, and the others stood beside Lu Jie. They were all Qin Feng's good brothers in the secular world. Now that everyone was reunited on the Divine Continent, the joy they felt was indescribable. It's great that the sisters-in-law are back. Lu Jie was so excited that tears were rolling down his cheeks. He was a tall and strong man, but at this moment, he looked like a child, which made everyone laugh. Yunze smiled and said, "Brother Qin, elder sister, and the other sisters-in-law are all in the Spirit Immortal Sect. Up until now, the main figures of Acropolis City's Hero City have all come, but some of our brothers from Hero City have not been found yet. For the past 2 months, Lu Jie and the others have been searching day and night for the outsiders who were teleported to the Divine Continent." After knowing the situation, Qin Fen felt more at ease. As for the others, he would naturally continue to search. Lu Jie had already led everyone into the sect. There were no changes in the Spirit Immortal Sect. Many people had gathered in the spacious martial arts field, and they were all cultivating crazily. When everyone learned about the Divine Continent's power, they all hoped to break through to a higher realm. I am dreaming? I saw Qin Fun and Ru Oro. Rin Xiao Yao suddenly stopped cultivating and stood up, looking at the people walking over in disbelief. The others were dumbfounded. They had been looking forward to reuniting with Qin Fun and the others day and night, but they didn't expect this day to come so suddenly. After confirming that Qin Fun was really here, everyone crowded around him. The atmosphere instantly became lively, and everyone seemed to have endless things to talk about. After some chatting, Qin Fun understood everyone's recent situation. Because they knew how powerful the Divine Continent was, Lu Jie and the others had been hiding in the Spirit Immortal Sect and didn't dare to go out rashly. Therefore, they didn't even know about the existence of Luo City. Qin Fun, what should we do next? After the joy of reuniting, everyone looked at Qin Fun with solemn expressions. Qin Fun looked around and said, "In the Divine Continent, I made the Spirit Immortal Sect the best place to cultivate. However, the Spirit Immortal Sect is currently lacking in spiritual energy. It's deep in the barren mountains, and even rogue cultivators aren't willing to come here. If we want to survive in the Divine Continent, we can't stay here any longer. I plan to bring everyone to Luo City to find a safe place to settle down, and then find everyone else." Qin Fen had stepped into stage 7 Immortal Qi, but in the Divine Continent, and even the Northern Sand Continent, he was still an ant-like existence. However, Qin Fen didn't fear or give up because of this. Not only did he want to survive alone, but he also wanted to protect his family and friends. With Qin Fen's encouragement, everyone's morale was boosted, and they unanimously agreed to follow Qin Fen out of the deep mountains. On the third day, Qin Fen went to Luo City alone. He planned to find a place to settle down in Luo City first, then call Lu Jie and the others over. "Shopkeeper, I want to buy some land." After asking around, Qin Fen stood in the main hall of Luo City's Qi clan. This Qi clan was the property of Luo City's Qi clan. The Qi clan was Luo City's #1 family, and the clan head was Luo City's castellan. The Qi clan controlled a large amount of land and resources in Luo City. If one wanted to develop in Luo City, one had to listen to the Qi clan. A small old man stood behind the half-height wooden platform. He raised his head and glanced at Qin Fen. Seeing that Qin Fen was dressed in ordinary clothes, he immediately said indifferently, "Which area of land are you buying? What do you want to do?" Qin Fen didn't care about the other party's attitude. He said, "I have my eyes on the row houses and the empty courtyard behind them on the new street. I want to buy them to start business." The small old man's expression changed. He looked at Qin Fen again and sneered. "Humph, you talk big, kid. That's the central street of Luo City. The housing prices are frighteningly high. Do you think you can afford it?" Qin Fen didn't say much. He waved his hand, and a small mountain of spirit stones fell under his feet. "How many spirit stones are those houses worth? I can pay you in full." The small old man looked at the high-grade spirit stones on the ground and was shocked. He didn't even care that the brush in his hand fell to the ground. He immediately changed his attitude and walked to the hall from the back with a smile on his face. "Huh, that piece of land is worth 500,000 high-grade spirit stones. Do you really want to buy it in one go?" Qin Fen had a lot of spirit stones with him, especially after he topped the Hunyuan sect's dragon leaderboard. The sect rewarded him with 300,000 high-grade spirit stones. Coupled with the spirit stones he had collected before, he had about 500,000 high-grade spirit stones in total. Qin Fen was shocked by the price of the land. 500,000 high-grade spirit stones was already very expensive. An ordinary cultivator might not even be able to collect 10,000 high-grade spirit stones in their entire life. However, Qin Fen had to find a place to settle down as soon as possible. The row houses were on the main street, and there was a large empty courtyard behind them that he could use. It was completely in line with Qin Fen's needs. After some negotiation, Qin Fen lowered the price to 450,000 high-grade spirit stones. Judging from the shopkeeper's smile, Qi Tang didn't lose out at all. Qin Fen paid the spirit stones on the spot, and the shopkeeper handled the land deed and other procedures. Now, Qin Fen's first place on the divine continent that belonged to him had appeared. For the next 3 days, Qin Fen was busy with the land that he had bought. Lu Jie and the others arrived one after another. With everyone's help, a new residence was quickly completed. Everyone was very satisfied with the place. "Qin Fen, you bought so many houses and courtyards. Do you have a plan?" Han Ying's business sense was extraordinary. Looking at the huge land, she already had a few business plans in her mind. Qin Fen gathered everyone in the courtyard and said, "The divine continent respects martial arts. If you want to survive here, you must constantly cultivate and break through. Cultivation requires endless resources. I plan to open the Saint Medic Hall and the Hall of Gods here so that we could develop in the long run." Everyone agreed with Qin Fen's suggestion. Han Ying looked at the large, empty courtyard and said, "If we develop the elixir industry, we could transform this empty space into an herb garden. With Senior Huatawa here, I believe it won't be a problem." Yunze was from the Hall of Gods. He said confidently, "I'm good at forging weapons. I can be in charge of the development of the Hall of Gods on the divine continent. Then I'll be in charge of security." Lu Jia also jumped out. The women did not want to be idlers, so they looked for jobs for themselves. "Then I'll be the elixir salesperson. Cuckoo will be the general manager of the Hall of Gods sales. I'm good scamming people. No, I'm very good at it." Everyone was amused by Zhang Cuckoo's words, especially the 8 women who went to the divine continent to look for Qin Fen. They had seen with their own eyes how Zhang Kuku scammed the Sacred Gates disciples at the Science and Technology Exhibition in the Spirit Immortal City. The division of labor was quickly implemented. In the next few days, everyone was full of enthusiasm. Not only could Qin Feng refine elixirs, but he could also refine weapons. He worked day and night to refine a large number of elixirs and weapons. On the 7th day after they bought the land, the St. Medic Hall and the Hall of Gods opened for business. Shocking news spread quickly in Luo City. On the opening day of the St. Medic Hall, all elixirs will be sold at half price. Also, the customer who spends the most on the day will be given a free recovery pill. On the opening day of the Hall of Gods, all spiritual weapons will be sold at half price. The customer who spends the most on the day will be given a free purple-grade spiritual weapon and a flying sword. Chapter 1528. After this explosive news was released, a crowd gathered outside the terrace house that Qin Feng bought early in the morning. Most of the people were independent cultivators, but there were also a few family disciples. However, Luo City was dominated by family forces, so few sect disciples dared to come here. Since when did a medicine shop and weapon shop open here? Someone was surprised. Everything in this shop is selling at half price? Is that true? So what if they're selling at half price? Have you heard of the Sacred Medicine Hall and the Divine Armament Hall? Who knows if the things in these two shops are real or fake? Soon, 500 to 600 people had gathered outside the door. Lin Bei and the other girls were shocked by the crowd's fervent discussion. Everyone, please be quiet. Qin Feng walked out after seeing that most people had gathered. Hundreds of pairs of eyes landed on him. Seeing that he was just a wimpy kid, many people instantly lost interest. Everyone disperse. This is obviously a gimmick. What good stuff could a shop run by a little brat sell? It's most likely fake medicine and spiritual weapons. Qin Feng didn't care about the doubting voices. He circulated his qi, and his voice sounded like it came from a loudspeaker. My shop has just opened. If there's anything you don't understand, you can ask. I can't guarantee anything else, but I can guarantee the quality of the products in the two shops under my name. Qin Feng directly answered the doubting voices. Someone in the crowd yelled, "What's the point of just guaranteeing? What if the things you sell are fake or defective?" Lu Jie and the others knew that Qin Feng's pills and spiritual weapons were of the highest quality. They were better than some alchemy sects and blacksmiths in the Divine Supreme Continent. Seeing the crowd questioning him, they were a bit annoyed. Qin Feng stopped everyone and smiled at the crowd. "That's easy. My shop can inspect the goods first before paying. Everyone can eat the pills and see the effects. You can also use the spiritual weapons to practice. If you're not satisfied, I won't take a single cent." Qin Feng's words made the crowd boil. It was the first time they heard of the principle of using first and then buying. This was Han Yingying's idea. She wanted to bring a set of selling techniques from the secular world of China to the Divine Supreme Continent. Since little brother has said so much, I'll go in and have a look. Some people couldn't wait any longer and walked into the shop, followed by a large group of people. The St. Panacea Hall and the Divine Armament Hall were two large rooms that were connected in the middle. However, the two rooms were quickly filled with people. Many people were blocked outside the door and unable to enter. Damn, this bottle of Immortal Cloud pills is only selling for 100 superior spirit stones. The pills sold by this St. Medic Hall are indeed cheaper than those sold outside. I wonder what the medicinal properties are like. Didn't young Master Qin say that we could try it before buying? Who want to try it? The St. Medicine Hall was bustling with noise and excitement, but no one dared to easily try the medicinal pills here. What if someone accidentally died from eating it? However, there was also a bold man who jumped out. He held a bottle of white phoenix pills and said, "Miss, we can eat these pills first, right? I really ate it." Han Ying and Ren Xiao Yao were in charge of the sales. The two women smiled and nodded at the man, who didn't hesitate. He opened the jade bottle and poured a white phoenix pill into his mouth. The crowd immediately quietened down. It was so quiet that one could hear a pin drop in the large room. The crowd stared unblinkingly at the man who swallowed the pill. They felt that this man was like a lab rat. The White Phoenix pill was a second-grade, miraculous pill in the divine world. Its main effect was to purify the immortal energy in one's body and stabilize one's current realm. The pill melted in the mouth, and a rich medicinal fragrance wafted in the room. The man's eyes shone brightly after he swallowed the pill. He shouted excitedly, "What a good pill! This is a high-grade White Phoenix pill." The same medicinal pill, if it came from the hands of different alchemists, would have a very different medicinal effect. For example, the White Phoenix pill could be divided into high-grade, medium-grade, and low-grade. The difference in medicinal effects between a high-grade White Phoenix pill and a low-grade White Phoenix pill was almost double, and the price difference was also several times. The St. Medical's White Phoenix pill was a high-grade pill, but its price was twice the price of a normal White Phoenix pill. This was like a meat pie falling from the sky. "Hey, are you telling the truth? Don't tell me you're an actor hired by this St. Medical." The man's reaction was too intense, and it aroused many people's suspicions. But someone else shouted, "I know him. He's Mahjong from Luo City's Ma family. He's definitely not an actor." Mahjong ignored those who questioned him. His eyes were shining as he stared at the room full of pills. He felt as if he had found a treasure in the desert. "Miss, how many White Phoenix pills do you have? I'll buy them all." Mahjong shouted. Even an idiot could tell that the St. Medical was serious. Not only were they selling the pills at half price, but the quality of the pills was also very good. For a moment, everyone was in a frenzy to buy the pills. Some people even remembered the St. Medical's initial advertisement. The person who spent the most today would get a recovery pill for free. That was a 6th-grade recovery pill. It could heal serious injuries, and it was a life-saving pill. At the same time, the atmosphere in the Divine Weapon Hall was equally heated. The room was filled with all kinds of spiritual weapons, from orange to purple. The person who spent the most would get a purple-grade spiritual weapon for free and the chance to buy a flying sword. Under the rush of the crowd, the items in the two shops were quickly sold out. After all, Qinfen did not have much time to prepare. He could only make so many products in just 3 days. At the same time, the number one nouveau riche of the two shops was born. When Qinfen really gave them a recovery pill and a purple-grade spiritual sword for free, everyone was dumbfounded. Who is this young hero Qin? He's too generous. Could he be from the Qi family? Only the Qi family has such power in Luo City. Wait, young hero Qin's surname is Qin. They're going to start selling flying swords. I want to get a flying sword too. Amidst the exclamations of the crowd, the number one nouveau riche of the Divine Weapon Hall started buying a flying sword. It was a pink-grade flying sword, but it was not a starry sky flying sword. After Qin Fun came to the Divine Continent, he realized that the process of refining flying swords was much easier due to the rich spiritual energy here. Flying swords here were mainly used for transportation, and their offensive effects were not as important. Qin Feng had forged a flying spirit tool, and the materials used were ordinary. Although this flying sword could be used for flying, it would easily break in a fight. Compared to the indestructible starry sky flying sword, it was much weaker. Qinfen's main purpose for opening the shop today was to make a name for himself. Making money was secondary. He did not set a high price for the flying sword and sold it to the other party for 3,000 high-grade spiritual stones. The crowd was shocked once again. This was the cheapest flying sword they had ever seen. "Young hero Qin, do you still have any flying swords? I'm willing to pay 5,000 high-grade spiritual stones for it." "Young hero Qin, I'm willing to pay 10,000 spiritual stones." Flying swords were rare in the Divine Continent. Most of the people in the room did not have a flying sword. Qinfen smiled and said, "I'm sorry, everyone. Since the shop opened in a hurry, I didn't have time to refine too many flying swords. Now, I've sold the only one I have to that brother. You can come back and have a look in the future." Qinfen's words surprised everyone. This meant that the Divine Weapon Hall would still make flying swords for sale in the future. Those who could make flying swords were all very powerful, refining families. Now, everyone looked at Qinfen with much more respect. "Young hero Qin, if there's a flying sword in the future, You must inform me immediately." Many people fought to please Qin Fun. Qin Fun smiled and said, "Okay, if there are more flying swords, I will announce it to the whole city. However, the price will not be low in the future. It won't be much different from the market price." People did not care too much about the price. Flying swords were already a treasure in short supply. No matter how high the price was, many people would fight to buy them. By the way, young hero Qin, Saint Medic needs to refine more pills, right? Someone thought of the pills next door. Everyone, don't worry. Recently, the 2 shops under my name will speed up the production of products. When the time comes, I will inform everyone to come and buy them. Of course, today is the opening discount. In the future, the price will return to normal. Okay, young hero Qin's pills and spiritual weapons are all high grade. It's normal for the price to be higher. The crowd was very excited. Seeing everyone's enthusiasm, Lin Bei, Lu Jia, and the others were also very excited. Before the opening, everyone was worried about the sales of Saint Medic and Divine Weapon Hall. Now, it seemed that they were too worried. The products in the 2 shops were sold out, and the crowd gradually left. The women started to calculate the sales for the day. In fact, after a busy day, the money they earned from selling the products was about the same as the cost of making those items. However, Qin Feng did not care. His only goal today was to make Saint Medic and Divine Weapon Hall famous. As long as they were famous, making money was only a matter of time. Everyone was busy with the funeral arrangements. Yunze had already gone to forge a new batch of spiritual weapons. Hua Tuo started to clean up the empty space in the backyard, preparing to make a large herb garden. At this moment, an old man and a young man walked into Saint Medic. "I'm sorry, but the pills are all sold out. Please come back another day." Qin Feng was in Saint Medic, but the 2 people had no intention of leaving. Instead, they walked in front of Qin Feng. The young man was about the same age as Qin Feng. He was dressed in embroidered clothes and had an unruly expression on his face. The old man behind him was dressed in a gray robe and stood with his hands behind his back. Qin Feng secretly glanced at him and felt an incomparably strong pressure. He could not see through the old man's realm at all. "You're the shopkeeper of this shop?" The young man looked at Qin Feng indifferently. Qin Feng realized that the 2 people had come with ill intentions. "That's right, I'm the shopkeeper here. May I know why you're here?" Chapter 1529. They were from Treasure Pill Towers, Luo City Branch. The young man was called Bien Kuan, the eldest young master of Treasure Pill Tower. The old man was called Bien Wuxing, the chief steward of Treasure Pill Tower. Bien Kuan's tone and attitude were overbearing and fierce, which made Qin Feng unhappy. However, Qin Feng did not act recklessly. Putting aside the fact that Bien Wuxing's cultivation level was completely unfathomable, even that sloppy Bien Kuan was an expert who had stepped into the 9th stage of immortal qi. "Oh, do I need your permission to open a pharmacy in Luo City?" Qin Feng was clueless about this matter. Bien Kuan said coldly, "Are you really stupid, or are you just pretending? Don't tell me you've never heard of Treasure Pill Tower? Treasure Pill Tower is the largest elixir association in the Northern Sands continent. Their branches are protected and restricted. As long as there is a local branch, other pharmacies are not allowed to open." Qin Feng had only been in the Divine Continent for 2 months, so there were many things he did not know. Although he knew about this, he was still unhappy with Bien Kuan's attitude. "I'm sorry, but Luo City does not belong to Treasure Pill Tower. My pharmacy will continue to operate," Qin Feng said indifferently. Bien Kuan and Bien Wuxing were stunned. They did not expect Qin Feng to reject their request. In fact, many people had opened pharmacies in Luo City in recent years, but after being threatened by Treasure Pill Tower, they were scared witless. A mere stage, 7 immortal qi, and dares to be so arrogant? I think you're tired of living. Don't even think of using Luo City to suppress us. Treasure Pill Tower is the Alliance's Chamber of Commerce. Our strength is beyond your imagination. Even the mayor of Luo City has to be polite to us. What gives you the confidence to resist this young master?" Bien Kuan sneered. not putting Qin Feng in his eyes at all. At this time, another group of people came in from outside the door. The first to enter was a tall, burly man. He shouted excitedly at Qin Feng. "Young hero Qin, our Ma family's patriarch is here to see you." Qin Feng recognized this person. He was Ma Zhong, the one who spent the most in St. Medicol. He was also the first person to try the quality of St. Medicol's pills. The sudden arrival of the Ma family's people stunned Bien Kuan and the other man. Their originally cold expressions became even more unsightly. "Oh, it's Brother Ma Zhong. Nice to meet you." Qin Feng invited them into the house. Ma Zhong had already seen Bien Kuan and Qin Haodong. He raised his eyebrows and said, "Young Master Qin, do you have guests?" Qin Feng acted as if he did not see Bien Kuan and Bien Wuxing. "Apart from Brother Ma Zhong and the others, I don't have any other guests." Bien Kuan and the other man immediately gnashed their teeth in anger. However, when they saw the people of the Ma family, they just stood there without saying a word, as if they were afraid of the Ma family. Ma Zhong ignored the two of them and introduced them to Qin Feng. "Young hero Qin, this is our Ma Shinkong's patriarch." "Patriarch Ma, this is the young hero Qin I told you about." It turned out that after Ma Zhong had bought the pills, he had gone back to report this matter, which had immediately attracted Ma Shinkong's attention. Ma Shinkong immediately called for a few people to rush to the St. Medicine Hall. He wanted to see who the boss behind this medicine hall was. Although Qin Feng hadn't been in Luoyang City for long, he had long since inquired about the family powers here. There were 3 big families in Luoyang City. Among them, the Qi family was the leader, followed by the Ma family and the Bai family. As the second biggest family in Luoyang City, the Ma family was also very powerful. "So it's Patriarch Ma. Nice to meet you." Qin Feng greeted. Ma Shinkong was in his 50s. At this moment, he stood with his hands behind his back like a steady mountain. Qin Feng tried to check his realm, but found that this person's aura was deeper and stronger than Bien Wuxing's. It was completely unfathomable. "Young hero Qin, you're welcome. I heard from Ma Zhong that you opened a medicine hall and a weapon shop in Luoyang City, so I came to take a look." Ma Shinkong's voice was loud and clear. Qin Feng said, "Thank you for your concern, Patriarch Ma. I've just arrived in Luoyang City, and I've just opened my shop. I hope Patriarch Ma can take care of me in the future." Seeing that Qin Feng and Ma Shinkong were chatting more and more enthusiastically, Bien Kuan and Bien Wuxing's faces darkened with anger. "Qin, hurry up and give me an answer about what I just said. When are you leaving Luoyang City?" Bien Kuan suddenly said. He didn't greet Ma Shinkong, as if he didn't see him at all. Ma Shinkong felt suffocated. After all, he was the patriarch of the second biggest family in Luoyang City. He had a high status in Luoyang City, and most people had to greet him respectfully. But the people from a treasure pill pavilion never gave him any face, acting as if they were nothing but arrogant. Before Qin Feng could speak, Ma Shinkong said, "Young hero Qin, are you leaving Luoyang City?" Qin Feng had already seen the bad relationship between Ma Shinkong and Treasure Pill Tower. At this moment, he shook his head and sighed. "Patriarch Ma, I've just bought this land from the Qi clan and spent all my savings. If I could stay, I naturally wouldn't want to leave." This time, Ma Shinkong came to discuss something important with Qin Feng. Of course, he didn't want Qin Feng to leave. "Young hero Qin, don't worry. Luoyang City is under the control of the 3 big families. How can some outside forces make decisions? Moreover, young hero Qin bought the land from the Qi clan, so you're protected by the Qi clan. I believe that some people would not dare to act recklessly." There was a hidden meaning in Ma Shinkong's words, but everyone present understood. This time, Qin Feng's heart calmed down. He was not a match for the Bien clan for the time being, but as long as he was given some time to develop, he believed that the Bien clan would not be a threat. "Ma Shinkong, what do you mean by this? Do you want to make things difficult for our treasure pill tower?" Bien Kuan could not hold it in anymore and suddenly roared. He, a junior, was acting so ruthlessly towards Ma Shinkong. Immediately, Ma Shinkong's face turned as cold as frost. "Bien Kuan, you better know your place, or I won't be polite to you." Ma Shinkong was like an awakened lion. Suddenly, A violent aura shot out from his body. The aura was extremely powerful. It was the first time Qin Feng felt it. It was much more powerful than the immemorial sea. How could Bian Kuan withstand Ma Xingkong's anger? He was pushed back by the aura. In the end, if Bian Wuxing did not stop him, this brat would have been pushed out of the door. Bian Wuxing stood in front of Bian Kuan, and his body also emitted a violent aura. Instantly, the two auras surged in the room. Even Qin Feng could not withstand it. A mere third realm Saint King dares to block my power? If you don't leave now, don't blame me for being rude. Ma Xingkong was like a lion when he was angry. Bian Kuan and Bian Wuxing could not resist at all. Qin Feng was amazed. He did not expect that old man Bian Wuxing was a Saint King Rel powerhouse. It was the first time Qin Feng faced such a powerhouse. However, such an untouchable powerhouse was not worth mentioning in Ma Xingkong's eyes. Bian Wuxing only held on for a short while before withdrawing his aura. Young master, let's go. Bian Kuan looked unwilling. Although he was a playboy, he also knew how powerful Ma Xingkong was. It was rumored that this person's strength in Luo City was only inferior to the Qi clan's patriarch, Qi Tsong. And there was also a rumor that Qi Tsong had already stepped into the Buddha light realm. Qin Feng, let's wait and see. Bian Kuan felt like he had been slapped in the face. He did not dare to act wildly in front of Ma Xingkong anymore, so he simply scolded Qin Feng. Qin Feng did not care about this at all. After the two left, he cupped his fist to Ma Xingkong and said, "Many thanks for Patriarch Ma's help just now." Ma Xingkong's domineering aura disappeared and was replaced with an amiable and approachable appearance. If others did not say it, ordinary people would not be able to see that he was the patriarch of the Ma family. Young hero Qin need not be so polite. I have never seen people take advantage of their power to bully others. Ma Xingkong paused for a moment before continuing. However, you should be careful of the Bian family in the future. As one of the branches of Treasure Pill Pavilion, their power is not small. They have many Saint King realm masters, Qin Feng asked in confusion. I can see that Patriarch Ma does not have a good impression of Treasure Pill Pavilion. Why don't you let them leave Luo City? Luo City was controlled by the Qi family, Ma family, and by family, so it stood to reason that the three patriarchs were the bosses here. Young hero Qin's thinking is too simple. If it was just the Bian family, we would naturally not put them in our eyes. But they have the name of the Treasure Pill Pavilion, and with such a powerful backer, our three major clans are nothing to them. Qin Feng listened to Ma Xingkong's explanation and couldn't help feeling surprised. In his opinion, Ma Xingkong's cultivation was already extremely high, and the Qi family's patriarch was rumored to have stepped into the Buddha light boundary. But even the alliance of these masters had to fear Treasure Pill Pavilion's headquarters. This showed just how powerful Treasure Pill Pavilion was in the northern Sand Continent. After the two chatted for a while, Ma Xingkong went straight to the point. Young hero Qin, I came here this time to discuss something with you. Qin Feng said, Patriarch Ma can speak freely. If I can, I will definitely help Patriarch Ma. Seeing Qin Feng act so forthright, Ma Xingkong nodded with satisfaction. He was also a straightforward person and liked to deal with straightforward people. I have seen the pills produced by your Saint Medicine Hall. All of them are of top-grade quality. Also, the weapons of your Divine Weapon Hall are excellent. I wonder who made these pills and spirit artifacts? Ma Xingkong had come here precisely because of these pills and spirit artifacts. But seeing Qin Feng's young age, he didn't think that these pills and spirit artifacts were made by Qin Feng. He felt that there must be an expert behind Qin Feng. Qin Feng saw through Ma Xingkong's thoughts and said, to be honest, Patriarch Ma, both the Saint Medicine Hall and the Divine Weapon Hall were founded by me. Most of the items sold here are also made by me. However, the rejuvenating pill and the flying sword that were given out earlier were made by my master. Ma Xingkong's expression changed, and he asked excitedly, May I know young hero Qin's master's name? In the Divine Supreme Continent, alchemists and blacksmiths were extremely rare, especially high-ranked alchemists and blacksmiths. But the rejuvenating pill was a 6th-grade gold pill, and the flying sword was an extraordinary spirit artifact. It was no wonder that Ma Xinkong was so excited. It wasn't that Qin Feng didn't know much about the situation in the Divine Supreme Continent, but from Ma Xinkong's reaction, he could guess a thing or two. Chapter 1530. Qin Feng pretended to be calm and said, "My apologies, Patriarch Ma. Master doesn't allow me to reveal his name." Ma Xinkong seemed to have guessed this and said nonchalantly, Of course. When will your master be able to forge flying swords and 6th-grade golden cores? Our Ma family can work with your Saint Medic and Divine Armament Hall for a long term. In the future, all the high-grade goods you forge will be ours. The price is negotiable. Qin Feng thought about it. He had no one to rely on in Luo City. If he wanted to continue operating the Saint Medic and Divine Armament Hall, he needed to rope in some forces. Now that the Treasure Pill Pavilion had a feud with him, he could consider getting closer to the Ma family. Master is busy with cultivation. Alchemy and smithing are secondary, but I do know how to refine some pills and spiritual tools. Ma Xinkong's eyes flashed with disappointment. He was mainly interested in Qin Feng's master. Qin Feng looked so young, so Ma Xinkong didn't think he could refine anything powerful. But out of politeness, Ma Xinkong asked, May I know what rank alchemist young hero Qin is? And what level of refiner is he? Qin Feng smiled and said, I can refine all medicinal pills below grade 6 golden core, and I can forge all spirit weapons below grade pink. These words shocked Ma Xinkong. As for some of the Ma family's followers, they couldn't help but cry out. Alchemists and blacksmiths were rare existences on the Divine Continent. On the other hand, Qin Feng was an alchemist and a blacksmith. Moreover, his rank was very high. Everyone in the Ma family was confused. With Qin Feng's identity, even peak Immortal Qi Realm experts and Saint King Realm experts would have to curry favor with him. But none of them had heard of Qin Feng's name, let alone the Saint Medic Hall or the Divine Armament Hall. Good. Young hero Qin, our Ma family is willing to work with you in the long term. What do you think? Ma Xinkong was excited. He didn't expect Qin Feng to be so good at alchemy and smithing at such a young age. Qin Feng naturally agreed. Ma Xinkong invited Qin Feng to the Ma Manor to discuss future cooperation. When Qin Feng approached the Ma Manor, he was shocked by the magnificence of the place. It felt like the ancient palaces he saw on TV. The Ma family was huge and had many disciples. It was even more magnificent than the Hunyuan sect that Qin Feng stayed in not long ago. Under Ma Xinkong's lead, all the disciples along the way greeted him respectfully. Finally, the group arrived at the Ma family's main residence. Ma Zhong and the others stopped at the door. Only Ma Xinkong and Qin Feng entered the house. Young hero Qin, how many 4th-grade spirit pills can your pharmacy produce every month? Can I order some spirit pills? Ma Xinkong was indeed a straightforward person. He went straight to the point as soon as he entered the room. As long as it's a pill of the 5th grade or below, I can refine it with an 80% success rate. Of course, if Patriarch Ma can provide the medicinal ingredients for refining the pills, I can lower the price a little. Qin Feng could now refine Tier 7 Imperial pills. As for pills below Tier 5, his success rate was as high as 100%. However, in order to be conservative, he deliberately lowered the level of what he said to Ma Xinkong. But even so, Ma Xinkong was shocked. Young hero Qin is really a genius in alchemy. To Qin Feng was, and Qin lacked. Master. Qin Feng was short of these things. Working with the Ma family was a complementary resource. Patriarch Ma, how about this? 50% of the medicinal pills and spirit weapons produced by the Saint Medic Hall and the Divine Armament Hall will be sold to the Ma clan, while the rest will be sold to other customers. Qin Feng brought up the details. Ma Xinkong didn't mind. He felt that Qin Feng was a straightforward person. The cooperation went smoothly. Ma Xinkong asked Qin Feng to stay for dinner. When the Ma family found out that the master was hosting a banquet, they were curious about the guest's identity. However, when Qin Feng left, many people saw him. Seeing that he was young and unfamiliar, The entire Ma family was at a loss. The opening of the Divine Weapon Hall and Saint Medic was a success. Everyone in Luoyang City was talking about Qin Feng's two shops. In the next few days, many disciples came to see if there were new goods. The endless stream of customers made the other shops envious. On the second day after Qin Feng returned, Ma Zhong represented the Ma family and shipped a large amount of precious herbs and materials for refining weapons. At the same time, Ma Zhong gave Qin Feng 100,000 superior-grade spirit stones. The Ma family's straightforward personality could be seen from this. Qin Feng looked at the herbs the Ma family sent. He was excited. There were many precious immortal herbs and spirit herbs. Qin Feng couldn't get his hands on them. Now, Qin Feng was completely capable of concocting a Tier 7 King pill. However, he lacked the medicinal ingredients to do so. Now that he had these herbs, his problems were solved. In the next week, Qin Feng went into seclusion to refine pills. He worked hard day and night, refining all of the most precious medicinal ingredients, but the results were also very rich. Qin Feng refined 8 different grade, 7 King pills, and more than 10 grade, 6 golden pills. As for 5th grade spirit pills and below, there were simply too many to count. Qin Feng didn't stop after refining the pills. He used them to break through to the next level. Among them, the most common pill was the Juxing pill. Back when Qin Feng had eaten the Juxing pill for the first time on the Celestial Fox Mountain, he had broken through to the 4th stage of immortal qi. Now, the Juxing pill was nothing to him. He swallowed it like a grain of rice. However, what made Qin Feng depressed was that although he had refined many Tier 6 golden pills and Tier 7 imperial pills, they were all supplementary pills similar to the rejuvenation pill. There were very few pills that could help him break through. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye. With the help of the pills, Qin Feng broke through quickly. When he retracted his aura and opened his eyes, he was shocked to find that he had stepped into the middle stage of the 9th stage of immortal qi. He was only 1 step away from the late stage. He was overjoyed. He walked out of his room. When he arrived at Saint Medic, he heard a clamor. "Where's that Qin brat? Are you hiding like a tortoise?" Bien Kuan stood in the middle of the room with a wooden fan in his hand. He looked arrogant and unruly. There were 2 lackeys behind him. Bien Wuxing, who appeared that day, didn't come today. Han Ying and the other girls were in Saint Medic. They knew that Bien Kuan was here to cause trouble. Lu Jian, long hair, stood opposite Bien Kuan and glared at him coldly. "Who are you? Why are you looking for our young Master Qin?" Lu Jie shouted. Chapter 1531. Lu Jie's face turned even colder, and he clenched his fists tightly. However, none of them exploded. After all, they had just arrived at Luoyang City and hadn't established themselves yet. They didn't want to cause any unnecessary trouble. Young Master Qin is very busy. How could he just casually meet some random person? If there's nothing else, hurry up and leave. Lu Jie didn't give Bien Kuan any face. Bien Kuan's face darkened. He was the young master of Treasure Pill Tower's Luoyang City branch. When had he ever been driven away? I must see Qin Feng today. I'll demand an explanation from him. Qin Feng walked out when he heard this. He knew Lu Jie and the others couldn't deal with Bien Kuan. "Why are you looking for me?" Qin Feng's face was indifferent. When Bien Kuan saw him walk over, a vague, evil smile flashed in the depths of his eyes. His expression darkened as he said, "You, Qin Feng, not only did you open a pharmacy in Luoyang City, but you even dared to sell fake medicine. A few days ago, I ate the White Phoenix pills you bought from your pharmacy. Recently, I've been having diarrhea, and even my cultivation has been delayed. How are you going to compensate me?" Qin Feng understood Bien Kuan's words. This guy was here to cause trouble. Lu Jie and the others couldn't hold it in anymore. They wanted to teach Bien Kuan a lesson, but Qin Feng stopped them. He knew Lu Jie and the others were no match for Bien Kuan. "You bought our Saint Medic's White Phoenix pill? Please show me the proof of purchase." All the pills produced by the Saint Medic had a proof of purchase. It was to guard against people like Bien Kuan who were looking for trouble. Bien Kuan was speechless. He hesitated for a long time, but couldn't produce the proof. On the other hand, the 4 lackeys who came with him started to make a ruckus. "Brat, you dare to question our young Master Cohen's words? Young Master Cohen has always been a man of his words. Why do you have to frame a small pharmacy? I can prove that young Master Cohen ate your white phoenix pill. As for the proof, young Master Cohen lost it a long time ago. Who would carry that thing on their body? I think your Saint Medic wants to act shamelessly. If we don't compensate young Master Cohen for his mental damage and cultivation delay today, believe it or not, we'll tear down your shop." Each of the 4 lackeys was fiercer than the last. One of them even pulled out an axe from his waist, looking like he was really going to smash the place. At this moment, there were still quite a number of customers in the house who were buying elixirs. When they saw this scene, they all crowded around to watch the show. "Holy shit, is the Saint Medic really selling fake medicine? Then I want to return these pills. Do you have a brain?" It was obvious that the other party was deliberately looking for trouble with young hero Chin. The leader is the young master of the Treasure Pill Pavilion, Bien Cohen. He's usually arrogant and overbearing. Do you believe his words? Sigh. Young hero Chin was a good person, and the quality of St. Medicinal Hall's pills was also excellent. "I'm so unlucky to run into a young thug like Bien Cohen." Everyone discussed, but they all suppressed their voices, afraid that Bien Cohen would hear them and anger that young thug. However, Bien Cohen still heard some fragmented voices, which immediately enraged him. "What are you idiots babbling about? This pharmacy is selling fake medicine. Hurry up and get out." Seeing that young Master Cohen was angry, the 4 lackeys immediately started shouting. "Didn't you hear what young Master Cohen said? Hurry up and scram. This place is going to be destroyed in a while." Those who don't want to be accidentally injured continue to stay. The few of them completely expose their true colors. Many cowardly people immediately fled the St. Medic Hall. Chin Feng's eyes flashed coldly when he saw that his originally good business was ruined by Bien Cohen. "Everyone leave. I have some private matters to take care of," Chin Feng said to the people who hadn't left. These people who hadn't left quite admired Chin Feng's character. They all knew that Bien Cohen was powerful and overbearing. If everyone left, Bien Cohen would definitely deal with Chin Feng. "Young hero Chin will just stay here. I don't believe that they really dare to act recklessly." A bold and muscular man expressed his stance. Chin Feng's heart warmed. He looked at everyone gratefully and said, "I, Chin Feng, appreciate everyone's good intentions. However, I'm not a pushover. Everyone, please leave first. I could take care of this matter myself." Bien Cohen's actions had completely enraged Chin Feng. He had just broken through to the middle stage of Stage 9 Immortal Qi, so he could use Bien Cohen as a practice target. However, Bien Cohen was the young master of Treasure Pill Pavilion. When he beat him up, he couldn't leave any evidence behind. Under Chin Feng's persuasion, the crowd had no choice but to leave. Soon, only Chin Feng's group and Bien Cohen's group of 5 were left in the St. Medic Hall. "Boss, should we close the door and beat the dogs?" Lu Jie looked at Chin Feng expectantly. He had long wanted to beat Bien Cohen's group. Of course, Chin Feng wanted to take care of Bien Cohen. However, he knew that Lu Jie and the others were no match for Bien Cohen. He said to everyone, "You guys leave as well." Lu Jie was stunned. "Boss, there are too many of them. What will you do if we leave?" The women had already come to Chin Feng's side. They looked at him worriedly. Half a month ago, Chin Feng really wasn't a match for Bien Cohen. However, now, he didn't care about Bien Cohen at all. "Leave through the back door. Guard the surroundings. Don't let anyone in." Chin Feng's tone was unquestionable. Everyone realized that they couldn't change Chin Feng's decision. They could only leave. Now, only Chin Feng, Bien Cohen, and the others were left in the huge St. Medic Hall. "Huh, young Master Cohen, this brat is too confident. He wants to fight against the 5 of us alone. I don't think he plans to fight at all. He wants to kneel and beg for mercy. That's why he chased everyone away. Otherwise, he will lose face. Huh, that must be it." As soon as Lu Jie and the others left, the 4 lackeys jumped up. Bien Cohen didn't care about Chin Feng at all. Half a month ago, he could tell that Chin Feng was only a stage 7 immortal. He would never have thought that Qin Feng was already a stage 9 immortal now. Qin, this is the consequence of offending me, young Master Kuan. Bien Kuan stared at Qin Feng arrogantly. Don't think that the Bien family is afraid of you just because you have the Ma family as your backing. As long as you don't leave Luoyang City, I will come to your Saint Medic Hall every day to cause trouble. Let's see how you can do business then. Oh, I'm afraid you won't have the chance to come here every day from now on. Qin Feng suddenly smiled. Bien Kuan and the others were stunned. They clearly didn't understand what Qin Feng meant. The 4 lackeys ran out of patience. They suddenly pulled out their weapons and pounced at Qin Feng. You idiot! What kind of nonsense are you spouting? I will teach you a lesson. Bang! A muffled sound suddenly rang out. The burly man who had charged at Qin Feng first was already sent flying. The other 3 were stunned. They didn't even understand what was going on. They realized that one of their companions was lying on the ground, just like that. Stinking brat, you still dare to sneak an attack? Brothers, let's attack together and kill this reckless thing. After a short daze, the 3 lackeys regained their cool. They still didn't realize the danger and naively thought that Qin Feng had played some tricks. The 3 of them were all stage 6 immortal. If they joined forces, they could even defeat a stage 7 immortal. However, before they could even get close to Qin Feng, 3 loud sounds rang out at the same time. The 3 of them were already lying in a corner. In a few breaths, Qin Feng had defeated 4 stage 6 immortal experts. This scene made Bien Kuan's playful expression turn serious. You broke through recently, brat. It's too late for you to realize it now. Bien Kuan suddenly laughed. Huh, so what if you broke through to stage 8 immortal? I stepped into the early stage of stage 9 long ago. I can kill an ant like you with 1 slap. Qin Feng laughed coldly. Kill me with 1 slap? Why don't you try? Bien Kuan didn't think that Qin Feng could still laugh in the face of death. This made him very unhappy. He couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense. With a low roar, he swung his fist. Rumble. The moment he punched, a huge hole appeared in the air. The originally peaceful room was suddenly filled with a huge gust of wind. It was as if the roof was going to collapse. A playful smile appeared on Bien Kuan's face. It was as if he could see Qin Feng exploding into flesh and blood under his punch. But the next moment, the smile on his face froze. Qin Feng casually swung his palm and easily blocked the power of his punch. Rumble. Not only did the palm dissipate the fist wind, but it also landed on Bien Kuan. Bien Kuan dodged in time. In the end, he missed and left a palm print on the wall. Bien Kuan's expression changed greatly. He no longer looked arrogant. He stared at Qin Feng as if he had met his greatest enemy. You actually broke through to the early stage of stage 9? It's only been half a month. How did you do it? Bien Kuan was stunned by Qin Feng's rocket-like breakthrough speed. Qin Feng laughed coldly. Who said I'm at the early stage of stage 9? You're thinking too much. Bien Kuan heaved a sigh of relief. He realized that he was really thinking too much. In the vast northern sand region, even a genius cultivator couldn't break through 2 levels in half a month. Qin Feng looked very ordinary. It was even more impossible for him to achieve such a miracle. But just as he relaxed, he heard Qin Feng continue. I've already stepped into the middle stage of stage 9. Pooh. Bien Kuan was so depressed that he almost vomited blood. Jumped from stage 7 to the middle stage of stage 9 in half a month? Why didn't you brag more? But when Bien Kuan sensed the aura released from Qin Feng's body, his eyes fell to the ground. This person had really stepped into the middle stage of stage 9. Rumble. Qin Feng stood where he was and casually struck out with his palm. With a loud sound, Bien Kuan didn't even have the space to dodge. He fell into the corner of the wall, and the 2 sides of the wall caved in. Qin Feng leaped lightly and arrived in front of Bien Kuan in a breath. He stood upright and looked down at Bien Kuan, who was sitting in the corner as if he was looking at an ant. What do you want? I'm warning you. I'm the young master of the Bien family. If you dare to kill me, the Bien family won't let you off. Bien Kuan said ruthlessly while trembling. He never thought that he would be defeated by Qin Feng. Bien Kun had seen that Qin Feng was only at stage 7, so he didn't bring Bien Wuxing with him to cause trouble. Chapter 1532. Qin Feng spared Bien Kuen's life, but that didn't mean he would let the kid off easily. Crack! A crisp sound rang out. Qin Feng's foot landed on Bien Kuen's left leg, breaking it. Ouch! The room was filled with Bien Kuen's screams. The 4 lackeys were dumbfounded. They looked at Qin Feng in disbelief. Was this guy tired of living? Surnamed Qin Brat, you dare to break my leg? I'll make you suffer. Bien Kuen's veins bulged on his forehead. He glared at Qin Feng and roared. Qin Feng stomped again before he could finish his sentence. Crack! Bien Kuen's other leg was also broken with a clean and efficient stomp. The pain made Bien Kuen sweat profusely. Qin Feng's expression was indifferent, as if nothing had happened. The 4 lackeys trembled at the sight of Qin Feng's ruthlessness. I've said it before. You won't have the chance to come here every day. You'll be bedridden for the rest of your life. Qin Feng's cold voice seemed to come from hell. Bien Kuen didn't dare to say anything else. He had witnessed Qin Feng's ruthlessness. Qin Feng was even colder than him. However, Bien Kuen's eyes were filled with hatred. He wouldn't let Qin Feng off so easily. Qin Feng knew what Bien Kuen was thinking. However, he wasn't worried about what would happen next. He said indifferently, "This is just a small lesson. If you dare cause trouble in Saint Medic and Divine Weapon Hall again, I'll make you disappear from the Divine Continent." Bien Kuen was carried out of Saint Medic by his lackeys. The 4 of them still felt like they were dreaming when they walked out of Saint Medic's door. "Young Master Kuen, are you all right?" The 4 lackeys were scared out of their wits. Bien Kuen followed them out and had his legs broken. How are they going to explain this to the Bien family? Bien Kuen had been suppressing a belly full of anger for a long time, and now he vented it on his 4 lackeys. "My legs are broken, and you tell me if I'll be okay? You bunch of trash. You can't even take one move from that kid. What's the use of keeping you?" The 4 little brothers were scolded harshly, but they didn't have any temper at all. They even nodded to please Bien Kuen. After cursing for a while, Bien Kuen finally calmed down a little. He said with a murderous look in his eyes, "Take me back quickly. I want my father to kill that bastard Qin." When the St. Medic Hall reopened, Lu Jie and the others immediately rushed over. When everyone saw that Qin Feng was unscathed, they were curious, but at the same time, they relaxed. But not long after, there was a rush of footsteps outside the door. "Boss, it's not good. There are more than 30 people outside. They're all wearing the same uniform. It seems like they're from the Bien family." Lu Jie rushed back in a hurry, and everyone became nervous. After Qin Feng violently beat up Bien Kuen, he didn't explain the situation to everyone. Lu Jie and the others had thought that the matter was over. Who would have thought that the other party would bring people to cause trouble so quickly? "Lu Jie, you hold Big Brother Qin back for now. I'll go get everyone inside." Yunze anxiously wanted to run to the backyard, but was stopped by Qin Feng. "No need to call people. You guys go back as well. I'll handle this alone." Everyone looked at Qin Feng worriedly. The people from the Treasure Pill Pavilion were almost at the door. The other party was led by a middle-aged man in his 40s. He walked like a tiger, and his cultivation was impossible to see. And there were more than 30 experts behind him. How could Qin Feng be a match for them alone? "Boss," Lu Jie and the others wanted to say something, but Qin Feng interrupted them and quickly said, "Go to the inner court and wait. No one is allowed to come out without my order." Everyone was full of unwillingness, but they could only sigh and return to the backyard. As soon as they left, the people from the Treasure Pill Pavilion arrived at the door. "Which bastard ate a bear's heart and leopard's gall? He even dared to attack my Bien Xionghu's only son. Hurry up and come out to die." The man in the lead turned out to be Bien Kuen's father, Bien Xionghu. He was also the current patriarch of the Bien family. His entrance was so domineering that the crowd in the surroundings was alarmed by his words. Many people came to watch. It would be a lie if Qin Feng didn't feel nervous facing more than 30 experts alone. But he maintained an indifferent expression and looked at Bien Xionghu. "Did you come to the wrong place? My St. Medic Hall is a place that sells elixirs. There has never been a fight here. Suddenly, 4 figures jumped out of the Bien family's crowd. All of them had bloody noses and swollen faces as if they had just been beaten. They were the 4 lackeys that Bien Kuan had brought with him. The 4 of them didn't even dare to fart because of Qin Feng's domineering aura. But now that they had Bien Xionghu's support, they immediately jumped up. Surnamed Qin, you beat up our young Master Kuan and you still dare to quibble? At that time, the 4 of us came with young Master Kuan to buy elixirs from your shop. But you broke young Master Kuan's legs without saying anything and beat us up. You're really arrogant. Family head Bien, it's this brat. He saw your power and was so scared that he didn't dare to admit the truth. The 4 lackeys inverted right and wrong, pushing all the blame to Qin Feng. Bien Xionghu's eyes were cold. If looks could kill, Qin Feng would have died long ago. You're just a mid-stage, stage 9 immortal Qi. How dare you attack my son? Who gave you the guts? Bien Xionghu didn't attack directly. As the family head, his thoughts and actions were much more conservative than Bien Kuan's. Since Qin Feng dared to be so ruthless, it was obvious that he had something to rely on. Many of the onlookers were secretly shocked when they heard that a mid-stage, stage 9 immortal Qi was called an ant. Someone else was suddenly puzzled. If they remembered correctly, wasn't young Hero Qin only at the 7th stage of immortal energy half a month ago? How did he suddenly become a mid-stage, stage 9 immortal Qi? I've already said that I never attack your son. You must have come to the wrong place. Qin Feng didn't admit it. The reason why he asked everyone to leave was so that he wouldn't leave any evidence after beating up Bien Kuan. The 4 lackeys were furious. Bien Xionghu shouted coldly, "You still dare to quibble?" The Bien family's disciples all saw it. Qin Feng said disapprovingly, "Those 4 are from the Bien family. Of course they're speaking up for the Bien family. Their words can't prove anything. Unless there's an outsider who can prove that I attacked him. You're all slandering me." Bien Xionghu's face darkened. He was so angry that he almost vomited blood. He was sure that Bien Kuan was injured by Qin Feng. But looking at Qin Feng's expression, it was as if the Bien family had wrongly accused him. Bien Xionghu's patience was exhausted. He was the dignified family head and a stage 7 Saint King. How could he allow an immortal Qi realm ant to behave atrociously in front of him? But before he could attack, a deep voice came from not far away. "It's so lively here. What happened?" The crowd instinctively opened up a path. Everyone looked nervous. When Bien Xionghu saw who it was, a cold glint flashed across his eyes. But he quickly smiled and walked up. "So it's family head Ma. There's nothing big here. Family head Ma is usually very busy. You don't have to pay attention to this." When the 2 family heads stood face to face, the crowd was shocked. Both of them were venerables who had stepped into the Saint King realm. Rumor had it that family head Ma Xinkong was only 1 step away from the Buddha light realm. Ma Xinkong ignored Bien Xionghu's words and walked to Qin Feng's side. "Brother Qin, are you all right?" The crowd was shocked by this scene. The last time Ma Xinkong came to the Saint Medic Hall to look for Qin Feng, everyone had left after buying their elixirs and weapons. Therefore, the people of Luo City did not know about the relationship between Qin Feng and Ma Xinkong. Now, that family head Ma actually took the initiative to greet Qin Feng. Many people were envious. "Hee hee, I've troubled Big Brother Ma. I was just doing my business here. Who would have thought that the Bien family's family head of Treasure Pill Tower would come to my door and say that I beat up his only son? He's completely slandering me." Qin Feng's acting skills were top-notch. When he was in China's secular world, he had even played the role of superstar. Bien Xionghu was about to explode. If he was not worried about Ma Xinkong's strength, he would have killed Qin Feng with a single slap. "Brat, you say that I'm slandering you? You obviously don't dare to admit it." Ma Xinkong was specially invited by Qin Feng. After dealing with Bien Kuan, Qin Feng had guessed that the Bien family would come to ask for an explanation. Ma Xinkong had long been dissatisfied with the Bien family. He did not care whether the matter was right or wrong. Obviously, he was on Qin Feng's side. Family head Bien, Luo City is the territory of me, the Qi family, and the Bai family. We 3 families have always been reasonable. You said that Qin Feng hurt your son. Did anyone see it? Ma Xinkong looked at Bian Xionghu indifferently. Bian Xionghu shouted, "Of course someone saw it. You four, quickly tell family head Ma about the situation." Bian Kuan's four lackeys immediately jumped out, but before they could speak, Ma Xinkong interrupted. "You want to ask the Bian family to prove it? Then they will definitely speak up for the Bian family." Bian Xionghu's face gradually became cold. He had heard from Bian Wuxing a few days ago that Ma Xinkong had helped Qin Feng. He thought that Ma Xinkong just stood up and said a few words casually, but now it seemed that the relationship between them was not that simple. "Family head Ma, do you mean to let Qin Feng go?" Bian Xionghu said coldly. "Brother Qin did nothing wrong. Why did the Bian family have to target him? I think this matter should end here." "Bullshit." Unexpectedly, Bian Xionghu suddenly became furious. He interrupted Ma Xinkong and shouted, "Surname Ma, don't think that I am afraid of you just because your realm is slightly higher than mine. Our Bian family also has a peak Saint King. What's more, the Bian family is the branch of the Treasure Elixir Tower in Luo City. If you insist on helping that kid, don't blame the Bian family for falling out with the Ma family." The atmosphere suddenly froze, and the group of people who were watching the show were scared to death. Even Ma Xinkong did not expect Bian Xionghu to be so strong. If both sides really wanted to fight to the death, it would be very serious. While both sides were in a deadlock, a sudden scream came from the crowd. Family head Qi is here." "What? Family head Qi Song is here? I have lived in Luo City for more than 3 years, but I have never seen family head Qi's face." Chapter 1533. Following the screams, the entire crowd was shocked. Luoyang City was controlled by 3 major families, and the Qi family was ranked first. Rumor had it that the Qi family's patriarch, Qi Song, had already stepped into the Buddha light realm. Such an immortal venerable had always been elusive. Unexpectedly, he took the initiative to appear today. Ma Xinkong and Bian Xionghu were stunned and looked to the side with uncertain expressions. A total of 5 people came, and Qi Song was at the front. His white robe fluttered, and his aura was as calm as the sea. Qin Feng had long heard of Qi Song's deeds. This person was already in his 60s, but he looked like a middle-aged man in his 40s. Patriarch Qi. As soon as Qi Song came over, the crowd came back to their senses and greeted him. Qi Song didn't look at those people, but he nodded slightly in response. When he came to Qin Feng and the others, he said to Ma Xinkong, "Patriarch Ma is also here. What happened?" Looking at Qi Song's reaction, it seemed that it wasn't Ma Xinkong who called him. He didn't greet Bian Xionghu, as if this person didn't exist at all. "Patriarch Qi, it's not a big deal." Ma Xinkong was puzzled. He didn't understand why Qi Song suddenly came. He wondered if it was Qin Feng who called him, but he immediately denied this idea. How could Qin Feng invite Qi Song? The Bian family is making trouble out of nothing. I can't stand it, so I stood up to uphold justice. Ma Xinkong briefly explained the situation. Qi Song then looked at Bian Xionghu, who was standing to the side with a cold face. "Oh, so Patriarch Bian is also here. Why don't you look good?" Qi Song said with a smile. Bian Xionghu was so angry that his lungs were about to explode, but in front of Qi Song, he didn't dare to act recklessly. If it was Ma Xinkong, he could barely deal with him, but Qi Song was rumored to have stepped into the Buddha light realm. He could slap him to death with one slap. "Patriarch Qi, this Qin brat broke my only son's legs. I hope Patriarch Qi can help us seek justice." When Bian Xionghu mentioned Treasure Pill Tower, he deliberately emphasized his tone, secretly putting pressure on Qi Song. How could Qi Song not hear it? His expression didn't change at all. Someone dares to cause trouble in Luoyang City? Then I will definitely take care of it. Seeing Qi Song's attitude, Bian Xionghu's heart was a little excited, but he heard Ma Xinkong say, "Master Qi, I have investigated this matter clearly. It was the Bian family who made trouble. They said that young hero Qin made trouble, but they couldn't produce any evidence. I suspect that the Treasure Pill Pavilion saw that the Saint Medic Hall stole their business and deliberately came to cause trouble. Bien Xionghu was almost angered to death by Ma Shinkong, but now that Qi was here, no one dared to act recklessly. Patriarch Bien, is what Patriarch Ma said true? Qi looked at Bien Xionghu and asked, "That guy with the surname Ma is talking nonsense. He's in cahoots with Qin Feng," Bien Xionghu yelled. Ma Shinkong's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. He was about to speak when Qi waved his hand and interrupted him. "Since you say Patriarch Ma is slandering you, then show me the evidence that Qin Feng interrupted your son. I'll punish Qin Feng and Ma Shinkong on your behalf." Qi words caused the crowd to cry out in alarm. Everyone had thought that he would help Ma Shinkong and Qin Feng, but from the looks of the situation, it didn't seem like that was the case. Ma Shinkong was also somewhat confused, so he could only stand to the side and sulk. Qin Feng, on the other hand, was nervous. If Qi was really in cahoots with Bien Xionghu, then he, Lu Jie, and the others would all be finished. Bien Xionghu said excitedly, "Of course there is evidence. My son's 4 subordinates were present at the time, and the injuries on their bodies were also caused by Qin Feng." With that, the 4 lackeys stood up. However, they didn't dare to jump around in front of Qi. They just respectfully recounted the situation at the time. After listening, Qi nodded and said, "Patriarch Bien, is this the evidence? Then I'll announce the results." Bien Xionghu thought that Qi was going to start severely punishing Qin Feng and Ma Shinkong, so he shouted excitedly, "Good! Thank you, Patriarch Qi." Qi face suddenly turned cold, and he shouted at Bien Xionghu, "Your Bien family's evidence is not enough to prove that Qin Feng beat people, and Qin Feng's land was purchased from my Qi Hall and is under the protection of my Qi family. Treasure Pill Pavilion has come to disturb the business of St. Medic Hall several times. Are you not putting my Qi family in your eyes? Patriarch Bien, are you provoking my dignity?" Qi attitude directly made everyone dumbfounded. Bien Xionghu was also stunned on the spot. There was a proud look on his face, waiting for Qin Feng and Ma Shinkong to be taught a lesson, but in the end, this was the result. "Patriarch Qi, what do you mean by this?" Bien Xionghu's face turned cold. Qi was not afraid at all. A majestic aura surged out of his body, suppressing the crowd to instinctively take a few steps back. "Patriarch Bien, are you not satisfied with the results of my handling?" Qi voice was as cold as frost. Bien Xionghu stood in front of Qi and felt a strong threat. Although he was full of anger, he finally calmed down. If he really shed all pretense of cordiality with Qi, then the Bien family would definitely be finished. Patriarch Qi misunderstood. "If there is nothing else, I will take my leave first." Bien Xionghu flicked his sleeves and left with a group of Bien family members. The onlookers were dumbfounded. Qi was worthy of being the strongest person in Luo City. His dignity was untouchable. The good show was over, and no one dared to stay and left the place. Qi stood at the entrance of the St. Medic Hall, not in a hurry to leave. "Patriarch Ma, I have something to discuss with Qin Feng. You can go back first." Qi spoke. Ma Shinkong and Qin Feng were both stunned. They didn't know what Qi was selling. "Okay, then Patriarch Qi and young hero Qin, take your time." Ma Shinkong also left with the crowd. Although he didn't understand Qi thoughts, he was sure that Qi had no malice towards Qin Feng. Otherwise, he wouldn't have helped Qin Feng resolve the conflict with the Bien family. Qi and Qin Feng walked into the St. Medic Hall. The people from the Qi family stood outside the door and did not enter. "I wonder why Patriarch Qi is looking for me." Qin Feng felt pressured facing Qi alone. This was a powerful person who had stepped into the Buddha light realm. Qi sat on a stone chair and said with a friendly and easygoing look, "Young hero Qin, don't be nervous. I'm looking for you to talk about cooperation." Qin Feng calmed down a little and sat opposite Qi. "Patriarch Qi, please speak. I've long heard about your St. Medic Hall and the Divine Weapon Hall, but I was in seclusion to break through and didn't have time to come. I heard that you have a master who can refine 6th-grade golden pills and flying swords? Qin Feng had a general understanding of Qi Zhang's intentions. In fact, his intentions were the same as Ma Xingkong's. Qin Feng couldn't help but be surprised. He knew that alchemists and blacksmiths were very precious, but now it seemed that they were much more precious than he had imagined. Even a Buddha Light Realm powerhouse personally came to visit. I won't hide it from Patriarch Qi. I do have a very powerful master, Qin Feng said mysteriously. Qi Zhang's eyes flashed imperceptibly. He said indifferently, "Oh, what level of alchemist is your master? And what level of blacksmith is he?" Information about my master is a sect secret, but since Patriarch Qi asked me personally, I can't hide it. I can refine 7th-grade golden pills. As for spirit weapons, rare pink ones are not a problem. Qin Feng didn't hide his strength anymore. Now, he could refine most 7th-grade golden pills and pink spirit weapons. Qi Zhang wanted to be very calm, but after hearing this, he jumped up from the stone chair. "What? Your master is a pill king?" Qin Feng was shocked by Qi Zhang's reaction. He didn't know much about the alchemist ranks in the Divine Continent. What did Qi Zhang mean by a pill king? Fortunately, Qi Zhang continued. To be able to refine 7th-grade golden pills, he must be a pill king. "Young hero Qin, may I know where your master is now? I want to see him." Qin Feng smiled bitterly and shook his head. "Patriarch Qi, let alone you, even I can't see my master at will. He travels all year round and is very secretive. Every time, he takes the initiative to find me. Otherwise, no one knows where he is." Qi Zhang didn't doubt Qin Feng's words. The more powerful a senior was, the harder it was to find him. Even he didn't show his face often, let alone a pill king. "Young hero Qin, the next time your master finds you, can you take me to see him?" Qi Zhang asked expectantly. Qin Feng was a little embarrassed. How could he have a master? It was just a cover he made up. "I'm sorry, Patriarch Qi, but my master never sees outsiders. If Patriarch Qi wants to refine any pills or spirit weapons, why don't you tell me? I'll ask my master to refine them later." Qi Zhang was somewhat disappointed, but he knew that this kind of thing couldn't be forced. "All right, actually, I want some golden saint pills. Your master can definitely refine them," Qi Zhang said. Qin Feng knew about the golden saint pill. It was a 6th-grade golden pill. It was a supplementary pill needed by a peak immortal Qi boundary 9th stage cultivator to break through to the Saint King stage. Now that Qin Feng was about to break through to the Saint King stage, he needed this kind of pill. However, the herbs needed to refine the golden saint pill were very precious. Even the Ma family couldn't provide them. "Patriarch Qi, the golden saint pill is not a problem for my master. It's just that the refining materials are difficult to find." Halfway through Qin Feng's words, Qi Zhang quickly laughed and said, "Hee hee. Young hero Qin, rest assured, our Qi family will provide all the refining materials. When the time comes, the Qi family will give your master a generous reward. We won't let you suffer a loss." Qin Feng was overjoyed. He planned to refine a batch of golden saint pills for himself after getting the materials. In any case, different alchemists produced different quantities of pills, and Qin Feng's quantity had always been very high. In that case, there's no problem. Qin Feng smiled. Seeing that the cooperation was so easy to settle, Qi Zhang was also very excited. He hesitated for a moment before saying, "Young hero Qin, the golden saint pill is actually not my main purpose for coming here. I want your master to help me refine an energy transformation pill." Qin Feng was slightly taken aback. He quickly found the introduction of the energy transformation pill in the system. This was a 7th-grade pill king quality pill. It was mainly used to help peak Saint King break through to the Buddha's light realm. Qin Feng thought that Qi Zhang had already stepped into the Buddha's light realm. Why did he look like he urgently needed the energy transformation pill? Bookmark, easy to read, that you're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference. as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.